cells. 2 types of ads will alternatingly spawn at either of the ooze
Could
tanks.
try and pull a little bit of trash.
Green will fixate
just
the target
to
and root them in place. If it reaches that
What's
target,
this?
it
He's
will
saying
explode.
shift
Deal
click
split AoE damage
to see
and knock
class
back.
type.
Orange will fixate a player. They can still move though. They'll take ticking damage whilst it's alive, and if it reaches the player, will explode and do massive raid-wide damage. The abomination tank should
I don't even know what that means.
then sucking up
Shift
puddles,
click
and then
to
killing
see
the boss.
class
The best strategy
type.
is to just tank the boss next to the green slime spawn. Nuke the green ad when it spawns.
What's this for?
Target to melee.
No, Grizzly Adams there was saying,
When the orange slime
I'm the
spawns,
tank.
it'll already be far away, and range can nuke it down whilst it makes its way
I'm
over.
lost
At
here,
80%,
yeah.
the boss will enter phase 2. It is exactly the same as phase 1, but now the boss will drop 2 choking gases.
I guess this is the same player whispering me twice. Grizzly Adams and the Gate.
The boss so his back is facing the wall.
Right.
Wait for him to drop the gas and then move back.
Oh,
into
okay,
position.
okay, so the
Also
Gate
throw
is
oozes
coming in.
towards players. They'll bounce
Alright,
towards
is he
where a
coming in
target
as
was
tank
when
or
he first
OT?
threw it.
He says
Without
I'm the
this,
tank.
At 35%,
You got a
you'll
tank.
enter phase
You need
3.
an OT.
This is a big DPS.
No, another
boost. Your
tank's
tank will be
fine.
booted out of the
Just-
abomination.
yeah.
Since you can no
Oh,
longer
alright.
get rid of the
We'll just-
slime, you'll need to start kiting the boss around
Okay.
the room away from the growing slime puddles.
Okay.
The boss will put a stack of
Hello,
debuff
hold
the
on,
tank
hold
that
on.
will hit the entire raid. It will persist for the rest of the fight. It'll probably become
Awesome.
unhealable at 5 stacks. You want to have your tanks taking
Just
1 or
give
2
me a
stacks
sec
each
while I,
time and then taunting off. If you find you can't
put the
beat this
link in.
phase in
Maybe
time, try
someone
adding a
else is
3rd tank
faster.
so you can split the
Maybe
stacks
Andy.
longer. Blood Prince Council. These bosses have shared health. Every 45 seconds, one of the bosses will become empowered. Only the empowered boss will take damage. There is no reason to AoE on this fight. Their abilities will also do some extra stuff. Spread out around the room, have a tank on each boss, and begin building threat. If you're doing 10 man, have a ranged DPS tank Keleseth. Keleseth deals shadow damage to their
and
target.
summon.
He will also
Come
spawn
in.
shadow
Oh,
orbs
someone
around
else
him.
running
Your
now?
Keleseth
Oh,
tank
thank you,
wants
Dennis.
to gain threat on these, as they will channel shadow resistance onto them, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered, Keleseth just deals greater shadow damage.
So the objective is we're going to take it slow and steady.
Slowly fall to the ground and explode.
No
You
massive
need to hit
great
them with a
pulls.
few attacks
Unless
to
we
keep
see,
them
we'll
floating.
see how we handle
Cast
the
shock
pulls as they
vortex.
come.
This will knock back a
I
player
don't
and
see
leave
how
an
we'll
orb
have
on the
much of a
ground.
drop
You must
problem
avoid this
actually.
orb. When
Yeah,
empowered, this
and
ability will hit
as
the
we
entire raid, but won't leave
as
any
we
orbs.
kind of
Conjure
all
Ray
need
will
the
do a
rep,
frontal ability
apart
on a
from
player,
you,
leaving a dot
probably
on
me,
anyone in
because
the
you've
way. Conjure
already
Flame
been
is a
in it,
ball
but,
that will move towards and AoE
Apart
explode
from
on
wide
the
we
player.
all
It'll
we
do
all
less
need the
damage the
rep,
longer
so
you kite it. When empowered, the
probably want
damage
to
is
clear
only
all the
reduced when it
trash.
passes
Don't
through
Yeah,
it.
well,
really
let's
be
do
an
it.
issue.
Try running
Clear
into
all
it
the
when you
trash
see
then.
it.
No, that's right. Some of you guys are not even on friendly.
Spread out around the room,
Alright.
tanks
Yeah,
stack
walking
tightly
apart,
on one
for sure.
another. The boss does link damage to the person closest to the main tank. The off tank will also
Well, you
get
haven't
bleed
got
every now and then.
No,
tab out at the moment,
there's
so-
no tab
damage.
at the
Swarming shadows will be cast on the player. It will drop fire on the ground. Try
You
drop
right,
it on
Jay?
the edges of the room. If you get beams on you, run to the
Alright.
other beamed players to get rid of it. 15 seconds into the
Many
fight, the
hard
highest
modes,
threat
just not
DPS will
normals.
get bitten. This increases their damage by 100%. After 60 seconds, they will have a
Well,
small window in which they
We
must
just got to
take
clear the
damage,
trash. That's
otherwise
sort
they'll
of
become
not very
light.
hard.
Set up an order in which you want
Everything,
DPS
we'll
to be
just
bitten.
clear
Every
everything.
2 minutes, the boss will run to the
For the
center
raid.
and fly up in the air. It will fear and drop loads of splash damage on the raids.
So we
Don't
ready?
worry
Drop
about
tremors,
them.
master
Let's pull
spell,
some trash over.
Vilithria Dreamwalk.
Can you see
The
me?
main objective of this fight
Yeah.
is to kill the boss to
Yeah.
fast, so if you can off-spec
He's,
heal, do it. Portals will spawn throughout the
comfortable
fight,
with-
and you can
Are we all ready for this? You know, we can't be leaving half the group behind.
He's comfortable letting the pally tank the trash, and I'll
40
put me
second debuff that deals
5.7
damage,
DPS
gives you
gear
mana
on.
regen and healing increase. Portals will appear every 20
during this
seconds,
fast
and you
stuff,
want to stack
yeah.
this buff as
I
much
guess.
as possible.
I'll just
Split
say
the
clear it
tanks
fast,
and
I'm still on
DPS
that
into
quest
two
to kill
groups.
souls, so
Deal with the
Oh, you on the legendary quest, are you?
yeah, mate.
does AoE that hits the boss too.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm not worried.
Archmages,
Yeah, you
summon
got to
stuff
kill
in
1,000
range.
souls, is that right?
Zombies,
So, yeah, I think
stack
about
them
480
dot
at the moment.
like Chitin or Free Person.
Yeah, you beat me by about 100.
Syndra Ghost. Tank the boss here, watch out for Cleave
Close
and
and
Tail.
peaks.
There is a raid-wide ticking damage throughout this fight. The boss will periodically pull the raid into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from this. Melee will get stacked to the dot, permeating chill as they attack. Stop attacking to reset this. Range will get stacked to unchained magic, which will do damage every 5 seconds depending on how many spells you cast. Stop casting to reset this. When the boss flies up, run towards the stairs. A few people will be marked. Marked people should stack in groups of 2 at the bottom of
You gotta
the
move
stairs.
your arrow, just
Players
keep
will get
smaller.
frozen and get splash AoE damage when first engaged. Similar to Saffron, you want to hide behind these ice blocks to avoid the explosions. There are 4 explosions in random locations, so you'll constantly run around the ice blocks to position out the line of sight. The ice teams have a health bar that is up to 80 DPS combined. Try not to kill them before all 4 explosions. At 35%, whilst everyone to fly every now, players will get a stack of debuff on them, which increases damage too. Every now and then, I will frost him to utilise this frost him by doing something with boss. This will drop the stack in debuff. You probably want to run into melee like so, and then have the raid stack behind us and drop your stacks. Just be careful as the frost tomb does AoE damage when it's first applied. The Lich King. Phase 1. Tank the boss here, off tank pick up the shambling horrors and tank them away from the group and face them away. They periodically enrage, purge it. If you get necrotic plague, run to the shambling horror and get decursed. You'll jump to the closest target. This needs to be the shambling horror. Repeat this for the rest of the phase. Once the phase is over and all the shambling horrors are dead, the curse will jump to the off tank, dispel them away from the enemies. Passively cleave any other small ants on this phase. Defense does a rate wide AoE that does increased damage over time. You need to top everyone off above 90% health to get rid of it. Every time the necrotic plague jumps from the target, the Lich King's damage will increase, so towards the end of this phase, you'll need to cycle cooldowns on the main tank. 70%, the intermission phase begins. Quickly run to the outside platform, have the tanks pick up the Raging Spirits. They do a frontal that silences, so face them down. Ice balls will
So when these things die, they
towards the raid.
do AoE.
After 60 seconds, the phase will end, and the edge of the platform will be destroyed, so get back in the main circle. Phase 2 will still have the Infest mechanic. Tanks swap when they get hit by Soul Reaper. Every 45 seconds, Valkyrie will spawn and pick players up. They'll begin flying towards the edge of the platform, drop them to their death. CC and nuke these down. You want to try and stack up in melee where Valkyrie are about to spawn.
Yeah,
Every 30 seconds, the boss will cast
don't
Oh, that was
trigger
the
anything.
pet.
Cause them to drop black smoke
Right now.
very shortly.
Okay,
This pool
okay,
does
we'll
damage,
just take it one
rapidly
at a time.
increases in size if a player is still inside. You need to run away as soon as you get this, and the raid needs to run the opposite direction. If you drop this in the raid, it'll pretty much instantly fill the platform. There will be an overlap with Valkyrie and Defile at some point. It is better to stay spread for the Defile than to stack for the Valkyrie. At 45%, you'll get another intermission. This is the same as before with one extra ad. Once the intermission is over, tank the boss on the edge, nuke down any extra ads you have left. So no longer casts Invest or Valkyries. Every 30 seconds, you'll cast Vile Spirit. This will spawn ads on your location. Once they spawn, run to the opposite side of the platform. Ads will run towards players and
Got
destroy
2 up
them.
now.
When you're off tank to try and intercept them all and eat all the
That's
explosions
a
away.
big
That's
way
a-
to learn. We are
that's a
not
way.
very good at
Every
guys.
60 seconds, the boss will cast Harvest Soul on a player. This will transport them to a room in which they'll help some dude kill something. If you're a healer, heal the friendly target. If you're a DPS, DPS and interrupt the unfriendly target.
Yeah,
Once
not
the
having
boss
that rogue
reaches
sucks.
10% health,
Disarm
I don't
traps.
know what happens next. We always
Well, we
Yes,
want
we
to
can't
kill them because of the rep,
Maybe you'll be more
so
fortunate. Good luck.
just need them one at a
I guess
time. That's
that's
all.
it. Thanks for watching. Thank you to my Patreon patrons and my channel members. I love you so much. I wish I could
So I'm
be
saying
there to
slow
hold
and
you whilst
steady.
we watch these videos together.
Yeah, a pet ran forward
Good
and
luck in Icecrown.
Oh, okay, alright.
started the combo.
Oh, it does, we're already here. Okay.
I think it was a pet. I saw a wolf.
This way to learn.
Lord
We don't
Moroga.
have many
Tank
hunters.
the boss in the middle, tank stack up.
There's
boss will
something in
shoot
there, I've
fire
seen
in
it,
a line
eh?
towards a
It's
faraway
prob-
target where
shaman
there is a
spirit
dead zone
wolf.
in the melee where the fire will
Thank
not
you for
hit.
the
It's a good
feast.
idea to
Thank
have your
you.
healers stack in here. Have your range stand out to bait the fire. In 25 man, you need 8 people stood out to bait the flames. Boss will impale random players. They'll take ticking damage until the spike is killed. After 45 seconds, Moroga will begin spinning at a rate of 2 whirls per wind. Spread out around this room as he'll jump from far away raid members. After
It's
this, it'll go
common,
back to the
don't
first
be
phase.
discouraged.
Rinse and repeat.
We're not the first ones to do it
Lady
there.
Death.
Seen it before.
Healers and range spread out behind the boss. Boss has a mana shield, but you'll need to DPS down before you need to worry about tanking. Watch out for death and decay on the ground. Boss also mind controls. You'll need to CC them. Be careful not to kill them, as you'll be AoEing the ads.
One of
that
the
spawn.
pallies doing
Ads
might.
spawn from both sides
Yeah,
of the
you're
room.
missing the
Have
might
tanks pull
buff.
them towards the boss so you can AoE them down. Melee, prio adherence. Ranged prio fanatics. Melee should
Never
try
was
and
really.
interrupt all casts of the adherents. Fanatics will cleave. Both types of ad can enrage, purge it. Make sure you focus decursing your raid. Sometimes an ad will begin casting Dark Martyrdom. This will self-destruct them and cause big AoE damage. It'll also reanimate that ad.
Just keep
This
going,
causes the
James.
adherents to take no spell damage. Just tank them normally and DPS them down.
Are we ready?
Reanimated fanatics take
Yeah.
no
Are
physical
we all
damage.
ready?
They also
Still
lifesteal
missing a
ones.
might
Don't bother
buff, I
having a
think.
tank pick them up. Simply
A
range
might?
kite and slow them as you nuke
Yeah,
them
blessing a
down. Once the
might.
mana shield of the
Yep,
boss is
yep.
depleted, phase 2 will begin. Clear up any remaining ads and begin DPSing the boss. Move the boss out of death and decays. There'll be an AoE frostbolt every 20 seconds.
got
Little
blessing
ghosts will
of
spawn
might.
around the room and fixate players. If they reach you, they'll explode.
missing the might?
Avoid that happening. Gun shit. Talk to the goblin and equip the jump pack. Keybind it so you can use it easily. Have some people sit
Jacuzzi.
in the cannons. You want to spam
Thank you.
cannon blast until your energy is high,
perfect.
and then unload with the second ability, incinerating blast. Do not go over 100 energy, or you will overheat and get locked out for 5
Alright.
seconds.
Really?
I mean, I don't need to tell you that you
One
need
of the
to
other paladins
shoot
needs
the
to
other
cast
ship.
it, 'cause
Right?
I've
Watch out for
got
rockets
really
landing on the ground. Add will spawn on your ship, tank them, and DPS them down. The sergeants do a blade storm, so watch out.
Bring him back a little bit.
At this point, tanks and healers and DPS to jump over to the other tank, pick up the commander, who does increased damage over time. The DPS needs to kill the mate first. Once the mate is dead, you can jump back to your ship. However, you can also stay and kill any other ants on the ship. Stay as long as your tank is down. Repeat. Swordhang. This boss is DPS
To
range.
watch the
Range spread out
disrupting
to
shot.
12 yards.
I'm
Tank
going to
swap
stop
and
casting when it
When
turns
the
out.
boss reaches 100 energy, put the iron on fire. That way it will take massive damage.
Stop.
To the fight.
Stop casting.
Stay
Now.
the boss will heal by 5%. Mark assists, even if you get back rolls. You need to kill the boss before too many of these marks go. Blood boil will kill random players. Dot also gives the boss energy.
Stop casting. And now.
Blood River will target a random player and do AoE damage. This is why you're spread. Ads will spawn periodically on the boss. They're pretty much immune to AoE damage. Range need to CC and nuke these down quick. Any damage they do will give the boss energy. So there's no point the tanks picking these up if ranged can fight. Enrage at 12%. Investigate. This is a DPS racer. They're a great wide ticking
Stop
damage
casting.
throughout the fight. Tank him in the middle.
Okay,
Tank
now.
swap at 9 stacks. Range spread out around the room.
Okay.
Vial gas will be put on a player that does AoE.
Yeah, don't go right out the door, reset.
Random players. You need to stack close in 3 separate groups. 2 in range and 1 in melee. Gas balls will explode after a short while with a short dot on anyone affected. However,
Stop
your buff
casting.
will survive the main cannon.
Okay, now.
3 stacks of this buff to survive the fight. Every 30 seconds, Vestigate will start offense fast. This reduces the rate of ticking damage, and now makes him highest like a machine. Once he has done this 3 times, he has reached a state of euphoria, and his melee attacks rip through the fabric of
Oh,
time
man,
and space.
you're taking him
You should
too
use
far
cooldown
out.
to
Yeah,
stay
too
alive.
far out the door. Yeah.
Cockface. Ooze will fill a portion of the side of the room, switching every 20 seconds. Spread out around the
The
boss.
experts
Every
of
now and
this
then, the
stuff.
boss will cast
Let him
a
get
slime
thread.
spray, target a random move under, and he'll
Leave.
just move out the way. The boss will cast mutated infection on players. You'll run to the edge of the circle with this, dispel the debuff, and add will spawn from it with fix the player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room. When the second player gets the infection, you want to run in front of the lad and target, get the spell. The off tank should go through. Users, this will cause them to merge and become basically it's now torn through. Insane amount of damage. So have your tank cover around it. Every time you use debuff goes out, it's
Stop casting.
merges. Once it's merged 5 times, it explodes, pouring down on you. Avoid it. The Fossil Putris. Phase 1. Have your tank come up to the table and drink a potion. This will turn it into an abomination. Run over and suck up your slime in this picture. This will give you 2 things. This will use 2 types of labs with alternating like spawn and either of the uses. Green will fixate the target and make it place. If it reaches that target, it will explode. Orange will be they can still move. They'll take taking damage whilst it's alive. If it reaches the player, it will explode into massive blade like that. The abomination tank prioritize slaying slimes, sucking up puddles, and then killing the boss. The best strategy is to just tank the boss next to the green slime spawn, with the green light on the spawn, but if the target's a melee, you'll probably get hit. Since everyone is stacked already, the
Well, you
AoE
were
damage
already
won't
over
be
there,
that bad.
Jackson,
When
you
the
can
orange
see
slime spawns, you'll already
No,
be far away, and
wasn't.
range can nuke it down whilst it makes
Wait
its
for our
way
tank,
over.
please.
At 80%, the boss will enter phase 2. It is exactly the same as phase
You ready
1,
for the
but
next
now
pack?
the boss will drop 2 choking gases
Just
behind
go
you
in the
every
middle.
now and
So I
then.
get
The
some
split
mana
dot
out.
on you and make you miss for 15 seconds.
Yeah,
So
go
don't
up
run
the,
into it. Try to
just
position
go
the
to
boss
the
so
left
back
behind
into
the
pillar.
left, Jax.
Wait for him to
Yeah,
drop the gas
behind
and
it.
move
Pillar.
back into position. You'll also
Yeah,
throw
and
oozes
pull
towards
the
players.
group
You'll
in the
bounce
middle,
towards where a target
the big
was when you
spider
first threw
thing.
it. Move out of this. At 35%, you'll enter
The
phase
one in the
2.
middle?
This is a big DPS
Right,
race.
bring him
Your
back
off tank
behind
will
the
be
pillar.
booted out of
So
the
it's a
zone.
spider thing.
You
Line
can
of
no longer
sight,
get
yeah.
rid of the slime. You'll need to
Can
start
bring him
counting
back
gases
here?
There's a
around the room.
spider on my
Right
left.
there.
There's a spider on my left.
Stacking debuff
It's
on
too
the pallet
Bring him
quick.
back.
the entire range.
Yeah.
Resist for the rest of the fight. They probably become unplayable. You want to have your tanks
I couldn't get close enough to taunt without these guys aggroing.
Get people that are trapped in the webs.
Blood Prince counts. These bosses have shared health. 40 seconds, and the bosses will medium power boss will take damage, but no reason to AoE on this fight. Also do suppose. Spread out around the room, tank on each boss and control them through. You intend on that damage to the DPS. Colourself deals shadow damage to the target. You will also spawn shadow orbs around them. Colourself threaten mace is a
Heal up.
resistance on, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered, Carousel just deals greater
Then
damage.
just wait around the side of the pillar, may as well pull them spiders. You
Yeah.
can probably line
I
us
can
up
line us
over
up,
here.
yeah.
Attacks to keep
It's just when I moved here, these guys on my
This
left
will knock
pull.
back a player and leave an orb on the
Just
ground.
like
You must
body
avoid
pull
this
them.
orb. When empowered, this ability
We're
will
gonna
hit the
find out.
entire raid, but
Just
won't
pull
leave
that
any
spider,
orbs.
yeah,
Tal'Daram
that's it.
will
We're
do
gonna
a
find
frontal ability on a player, leaving a dot on anyone
Everyone
in the raid.
move up.
Conjure Flame is a ball that will move towards
Just till
and
they come in.
explode less damage from using kite. When empowered, the damage is only reduced by the plus of your player. Now we should try running into it and see its spot.
Wrapped.
Look, spread out around the room, stack quickly on one another. The boss does link damage, the person closest to the main tank will also get a bleed every now and then. The boss pulse AoE damage, Storming Shadow, pass on the player, or drop fire on the ground, try drop it on the rest of you. If you get beams on you, run to the other end of the place to go. 15 seconds into the fight, the highest threat DPS will get bitten. This increases their damage by 11%. After 60 seconds, they will have a small window in which they must fight another player, otherwise they'll become minors.
Nicely done.
Set up an
Okay.
order in which
That's
you
it,
want DPS
and
to
then
be
just
bitten.
move up
Every
to
2
the
minutes,
wall
the boss
here.
will run to the center and fly up in the air. It'll fear
Everybody,
exploit,
everybody on the
damage
wall
on the
here,
raid, so
and then
spread
just
out. Drop
pull that
tremors,
group in
master
front of you,
spell,
but everybody
field.
just line of sight
There
here.
are 3
Hard
adjourned.
stack in the corner.
Your main objective of this fight is to get respect heal.
Wrapped.
They channel a mortal strike on the boss. Archmages summon stuff on the ground that you need to move out of. Zombies put a stacking dot on the tank.
Do we want to kill these other guys?
Yeah, if we need the rep, we might as well just
really do too much.
hit the back over the other side as well.
Tank the boss here.
I'll try and line aside which way. Try and line.
Wide ticking damage
Go
throughout
stack
this
on the
fight. boss will
spider in the melee
periodically
or
pull the
run
raid
you, mate.
into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from this. Melee will get stacks of a dot, permeating turrets. Until we set.
Ready to get through.
Range will get stacks of a dot and chained magic. Damage at 10 seconds.
What?
Stop casting 20 seconds. When the boss flies up and goes to the stairs, mark people should stack in group of 2 with the stairs. Mark players will become frozen or structurally damaged in person group. Similar to Saffron, you might hide behind these ice blocks to avoid explosions. For explosions in random locations, you might constantly run around the ice blocks to position out line of sight. The ice teams have full power and up to DPS them down through the play. Try not to kill them before all 4 explosions go off. At 35%, the boss will no longer fly up in the air. Players will now get a stacking debuff on them, which increases damage taken. Every now and then, a player will be frost tombed. You will utilize this frost tomb by line of sighting the boss. This will drop the stacking debuff. You probably want to run into melee,
So I tried.
and then have
Here.
the raid stack
We'll just
behind
stack
this and
around
drop
here.
your stacks.
Alright.
Just be careful as the frost tomb does AoE damage when it's first applied. The Lich King. Phase 1. Tank the boss here, off tank pick up the shambling horrors and tank them away from the group and facing away. Purge it. If you get necrotic plague, run to the shambling horror and get details. Or jump to the closest target and see the shambling horror. Repeat this for the rest of the phase. Once the phase is over and the shambling horrors are dead, then jump to the left tank or take the away from everyone else. Passively cleave any other small ants in this phase. Infest is a raid-wide AoE that does increased damage every time. Top everyone off by pulling something to get rid of it. Every time the necrotic plague jumps from the target, the Lich King's damage will increase, so towards the end of this phase, you'll
Wrapped.
cycle cooldowns on the main turret. 70% the intention phase quickly run to the outside platform and the tanks pick up the raging spirits. They do a frontal that silences, so face
So
them
we're
away.
looking at
Keep
the
them
cold
down. Ice
flame,
wolves will spawn in the
bone
middle.
There
Right.
should still be
Range
there should
down.
still be a
After 60
trap up
seconds, the phase will
somewhere.
end, and the edge of the
Nice.
platform will be destroyed, so get back
I'll
in the main
remember that.
circle.
Alright.
Phase 2 will still have the
Might as well see
infest
if we can
mechanic.
grab
Tank
that
swap when they
before
get
we,
hit by
Just
Soul
send
Reaper.
them.
Every
I'm
45
at now.
seconds, Valkyr will spawn and pick players up. They'll begin
There it
trying to
is.
take the
Good
edge of the
walk.
platform, drop them to their death. CC and
there's
death.
two.
You want to try and stack up in melee when Valkyr are about to spawn. Every 30
Alright.
seconds, the boss will cast a fire. This will mark the player and cause him to drop black smoke along the ground very shortly after. This pool does damage, rapidly increases in size if the player is still inside. You need to run away as soon as you get this, and the raid needs to go in. If you drop this in the raid, it pretty much instantly fill the pool.
Stand here in front of you, you'll get double played.
At some point, it is better to stay spread with the final than to stack to the back. 35%, you get another intermission. This is the same as before. with
Stop.
one extra.
Stop
Once
casting.
the intermission is over, on the edge, nuke down
dead.
Spirits, this will spawn ads on your location. Once they spawn, run to the opposite side of the platform, ads will run towards players and explode on impact. When you're off tank to try and intercept them all, neat all the explosions away from the raid, or anyone with an immunity. Every 60 seconds, the boss will cast Harvest Soul on a player. This will transport them to a room in which they'll help some dude kill something. If you're a healer, heal the friendly target. If you're a DPS and interrupt the unfriendly target. Once the boss reaches 10% health, I don't know what happens next.
That's alright.
We always wiped on this part and
Do it
went
again. We're mostly there.
Maybe you'll be more fortunate. Good luck. Well, I guess that's it.
No way else to do it,
Thank
but
you
to do
my
it again.
Patreon patrons and my
I'll
channel
go back
members.
prop now.
I love
I'll
you
take one of
so
them.
much.
You're doing alright, guys.
I wish I could be there to hold
First
you
time.
whilst we watch these videos together.
You a new
Sadly,
guild, are you?
I cannot.
Yep.
Good luck in
Doing it
Icecrown.
first time.
Farewell.
I
It's like a
mean,
war.
but you could, if you wanted to, just reset it and just do the trash again. If you want
What?
rep.
Well, I want to get to
How
the
much
first
rep
part.
do we need for the?
Tank the boss in the
Friendly.
middle, tank stack up. Boss
Yeah,
will
how
shoot
much
fire
is
in
for-
a line
like,
towards a faraway
I'm
target.
at 17
We
at
don't
the
have
end.
that
In the
much
melee,
time,
where the fire will
so
not hit. It's a good idea to have your healers stack in
keep
here.
going
Have your
through
range
trash.
stand out to bait the fire. In
Okay.
25 man, you need 8 people stood out.
You just
to
get
bait
the rep
flames.
faster, that's
Boss will
all.
impale random players.
Oh, alright.
Take
So what do we
damage
say?
until the spike
Guys,
is
want to
killed.
reset
After
it and
45
get the rep
seconds,
faster?
Rogo will begin spinning at a rate of 2 walls
I'm
per
happy
win.
to do
Spread
that.
out
But you,
around the room.
What's
as soon
the
as you
buff?
have a go on the boss, you obviously you can't reset it.
Alright, let's get the
Rinse and
boss.
repeat. Lady Death.
If you want to farm rep, just
Healers and range
just
spread
90
out
is just
behind
come
the
in
boss.
here and
Boss has a mana
do a
shield
rep
that
farm
you'll need to
during
DPS
whatever.
down before you need
Yeah.
to worry about tanking it. Watch out for death and decay on the ground. Boss also
Yeah.
mind controls. You'll need to CC
They're
them. Be
too
careful not to
close.
kill them as you'll be AoE.
They're walking here. They're all
Oh
walking
my
here.
gosh, I haven't even got the
Tanks
heals
pull them
up yet.
towards the boss so you can AoE them down. Melee.
Oh, it's yeah, right.
Melee should try.
They wandered out.
Stop your casting.
Make sure you focus on cursing your raid. Sometimes
They wandered out. Couldn't be helped.
this is self-destruct equals big AoE damage. Also,
Alright.
the adherence to take most of the damage.
Alright.
Stop casting. Okay, now.
There'll be an AoE frostbite.
Why am I doing
Avoid that happening.
Alright.
Gun
the hell
shit.
happened there?
Talk to the goblin and
Yeah,
equip the
reset.
jump pack. Keybind it so you can use it easily. Have some people sit in the cannons and spam cannon blast until your energy is high, and then
Do I have
unload with the
assist
second
yourself,
ability,
Mark?
Incinerating
See off
Blast.
tank.
Do
Okay.
not
Oh,
go
yeah,
over
that's what I
100
was
energy.
asking you to do,
You
Daz. Can you
get
give
knocked
it
out
to,
for 5 seconds. I mean,
whoever
I don't
was
need
just
to tell you that you
talking,
need to
please?
shoot the other ship, right? Watch
Top
out
me
for
up, top
rockets
me up,
landing on the ground. Ads will
They're
spawn
here,
on
they-
your ship, tank them, and DPS them down. The sergeants do a blade storm, so watch out. for
The-
that. Your
I
cannons
can't
will get frozen
do anything
at this point.
while he's-
Tanks and healers and DPS jump over to the other
Who is that?
tank, pick up the commander. He does increased damage over time. The DPS needs to kill the mage first. Once the mage is dead, you can jump back to your ship. However, you can also stay and kill any of the guys on the ship. Stay as long as your tank can survive.
Use that lay on hands there.
This boss is DPS race. Range spread out by 12 tank swap.
Right, we're doing well. Let's keep going.
Massive damage for the rest of the fight. Keep them up. If they die, 5 seconds. The mark persists until you can get back to this. You can kill the boss with a team of these marks. Blood boil will be killed around players. So it's the boss of the fight. So try to remember. Blood Nova will help the players.
Stop casting.
This is why your anti-spawn periodically on the boss get pretty much immediate AoE damage. Range need to CC and nuke these down quick. Any damage they
So
do
who's got
will give
assist?
the
Did you
boss
get
energy.
assist?
There's no
Well,
point the
that
tanks picking
was
these
heaps
up
of
if
rep
ranged can
for
cut.
killing these
Rage at
guys.
30%. Festagut. This is a DPS
So what's the buff for having
There is
friendly
rate
with
wide
them?
ticking damage throughout the fight. Tank him in the middle.
get a
Tank
ring.
swap at 9 stacks. Range spread out around the room. Vial gas will
That
be put
gives-
on a player that does AoE.
Yeah, one of the
Three
one right
gas
back at the
swords
start,
will
you get a
allow
quest
random
given and
players. You
they
need to stack close in three
offer
separate
you a
groups.
251
Two
ring.
ranged and one in
You
melee.
just choose
Gas
one
balls
that's
will
suitable
explode
for
after a
your
short while
role.
with a
How
short
am I
dot
supposed
on
to get?
anyone
I can't give
affected.
him.
However,
Doesn't seem
it'll
to be
also give you a
the
buff
raid
that will help
assist.
you survive a late
Well, I
encounter.
keep
You need
giving
3
it to
stacks
you.
of
Is
this
that
buff to
Gabe?
survive
Is
the
that who I'm
fight. Every
talking
30
to?
seconds, Vestagut will
Stars
start
at the
huffing his
moment, but I
farts. This
don't have
reduces
it
the raid-wide
to give
ticking damage, but now makes him high as and hit like a machine.
Is the
Once he
Gape
has
got it
done
now?
this 3 times, he has reached a state of euphoria.
Oh,
and his melee
Gape, is that
attacks
how
rip
it's
through the
said?
fabric of
Well,
time and
you
space,
did
which
for a
will use
second, then
cooldowns
I
on
gave
tank
it
to
to
stay
you.
alive.
Well,
Cockface.
got it just before it faded. Well done.
Ooze will fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every
Do
20
we need
seconds,
to mark
spread
these
out around the
guys?
boss.
Des,
Every
have
now
you
and
still
then, the boss
got
will
it?
cast a slime spray, he'll target a random raid member and do a
If
cone
you've still
wall.
got
Just
it,
move
can
out
you
the
just
way.
mark
The boss
the
will cast
tanks,
mutated
please?
infection on players. You
So
want to
that
run
we
to
can
the edge
see
of the
them?
circle with this, dispel the debuff, and add
And
respawn
maybe the
from it. It'll
healers as
fixate the
well.
player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room. When a second player gets the infection, you want to
Thank
run in front
you.
of the ad already being kited and get dispelled. The off tank should go with them. You want to collide the
Agape.
users. This will cause them to merge and become a big
And now
ooze.
the 2
It's now
healers,
tauntable,
yourself
but
as
it
well.
deals insane amounts
So
of
we
damage.
can see
So
where
have your tank
everyone
kite it
is.
around the room. Every time a new debuff goes out, simply dispel it in the path of the big
I might
ooze
want to
so it
use
merges.
different
Once it is
symbols to
merged
that.
5
Yeah,
times,
I'll
it will
take the
explode
square.
and will rain down on the ground. Avoid it.
I haven't laughed.
Phase 1. Have your off tank run up to the
Yeah, I
table
thought
and
I'd
drink
give
the
it to you,
potion. This
but,
will turn them into an abomination.
There's a
Run
still
over
on.
and suck up all the stone pools that
Is it-
spike.
stop
This will give them
casting.
energy.
Otherwise you
Two
won't
types
be.
of ads will alternatingly spawn at either of the ooze tanks on the side of the room. Green will fixate the target and come in place. If it reaches that target, it will explode and it will split AoE damage. Orange will fixate the player and make it still moving. They'll take ticking damage while staying alive. If it reaches the player, will explode into a massive rage wave.
Stop casting.
Prioritize slowing slime,
Okay.
and sucking up puddles, and then killing the boss. Best strategy is to just tank the boss next to the green slime spawn. Nuke the green egg when it spawns, but if the target's in there, you'll probably get hit. Since everyone is stacked already, the AoE damage won't be that bad. When the orange slime
Have you got
spawns,
assist
you'll
yet?
already be far away, and range can nuke it down whilst it makes its way over. At 80%, the boss will enter phase 2. It is exactly the same as phase
taking
1, but now the
this.
boss will
No.
drop 2 choking gases behind him every now and then. This
It
will
will
put a dot
stay
on
as-
you and
yeah.
make you miss for 15 seconds, so don't run into it. Try to position the boss so his back is facing the wall, wait for him to drop the gas, and then move back into position. You'll also throw oozes towards players.
So
They'll bounce
tanks.
towards where
Oh,
a
well, you
target
should
was
know.
when you first
You
threw
know
it.
to
Move out
face them
this.
away from
At
the raid
35%, you'll enter
and
phase 3. This
stay
is a big
together.
DPS race. Your off
Yeah,
tank will
change
be
the,
boosted up into
tank
abomination,
symbols,
so you
'cause
can
when
now
people-
pick
I
up
have
the
not in
slime,
control.
you'll need to start
When
cutting
people
the boss
are-
around the room
when
away
people
from
are
the growing slime
spiked,
puddles. The boss
they'll
will
get
put
a
a stacking
skull on
debuff
them.
on the tank that will hit the entire
So,
raid. It will persist
they'll
for the
change
rest
it
of the
to-
fight.
yeah,
It'll probably
they'll do.
become
The Gape has
unhealable at
got
5
raid
seconds.
assist.
You want to have your tanks taking 1 or 2 stacks
Have you
each
got
time
raid
and then
assist now?
taunting off. If you find you can't beat this phase in time, try adding a
Gape should
third
have
tank
it.
so you can split the stacks longer. Blood
Okay.
Prince Council.
Oh, good.
He's on the
These
phone though,
bosses
so
have
just give him
shared
a minute.
health. Every 45 seconds, one of the bosses will become empowered.
So
Only the
let's
empowered
talk about
boss
what
will
we're
take
going to
damage.
do.
There's no reason to AoE on this fight. Their abilities will also do some extra.
Oh,
Stay
yeah.
together.
Spread out around the room,
Tanks,
have a
stay
tank on each
together.
boss, and begin building threat. If you
Melee,
need 10
get
man,
in
have a
there.
ranged DPS
Not too
tank
close to the
Kellis.
tanks because
Kellis
you'll
F
get
deals shadow
that
damage to
bone
their target.
slice
He will
as
also
well, and that's
spawn
huge
shadow
damage
orbs
for
around
you.
him. Your Kellis
So
F
stay
tank
back
will
a
cast
bit.
a gain threat on these, as they will channel shadow
You
resistance
don't
on
get the
them,
cold
making
frame
it easier
as
to
well.
tank the boss. When empowered,
How
Kellis
much,
F deals greater shadow damage.
have you
Valinor spawns bombs
fellas
around
like
the room
done
that will
this
slowly
raid
fall to the
before,
ground
or
and explode.
on
You
different
need to hit
characters,
them
or-
with a few attacks to keep
Yeah,
them.
Literally
there's a few of
first
us.
time.
Shock Vortex, this will
No
knock the
worries.
player and leave an orb on the ground. You must avoid this.
Personally,
When
I'll put
empowered,
my
this
2
ability
bobs
will
worth
hit the
in.
entire raid, but
What
won't
would
leave
probably
any
be best when he
Tal'Daram
goes to do his
with
bone
its frontal
storm. The
ability
Shadow
to
Priest
fire,
stays up
will
here,
put a dot on
and just
anyone
goes
in
into
the way. Conjure
dispersions,
flames, a
and
ball that will move
me and
towards
the other
and
tank will
AoE
hang over
explode
to
on
the
the
right
player.
there
It
near
will
the
do less damage the
staircase,
longer
and
you
he'll
kite
just
it.
bounce
When
backwards and
empowered, the
forwards
damage is
during
only
a
reduced
storm.
when it passes through a player.
right.
Melee should
That's
try
what I
run
was
into
talking
it when they
No
see it
worries.
spawn.
Yep.
Blood Queen. Spread out around
Somebody
the room,
is-
tanks stacked tightly on one another. The
Do you want to
damage,
take
the
main
person
tank and
closest
then
to the
I'll
main
take off
The off
tank?
tank will also get
Yeah,
AoE'd every
well,
now
I'm-
and then. The boss
I think
will
I'm a little
pulse
bit more
AoE
geared.
damage.
Yeah, yeah,
Similar
exactly,
shadows will be
exactly.
cast on the
So-
player. It will drop fire on the ground. Try drop it on
Just
the
makes
edges of
sense.
the
So
room.
who's our
If you
main
get
tank
beams on
now?
you, run to the other beamed players to get rid of them. 15
Okay.
seconds
The
into
guy.
Oh,
the
nice,
highest
nice.
DPS will
Okay,
get
so I don't have to
this
tell you where the
increases
tank
their
should
damage
stand,
by
or
100%.
Nah, you're right.
60 seconds.
We got
Yes,
that covered.
right.
Window in which they must
Okay,
play
the melee know what they're
They'll
doing.
become mighty.
Can I get might
Set up
again,
an order
please?
in which
Ranged, can we
DPS to be
please
bitten.
spread
Every
out?
2
But,
minutes, the boss will
you know,
run to
cut
the
it into
center and
3
fire
so
from
that
the
we're
end.
either
See
side
it?
of our
It'll just
healers,
splash damage
so they can heal us.
Spread out. Drop tremors,
Aladdin,
Master
you
Spell,
put
field.
Please.
Vilithria Dream.
Can you
Rate
please-
them,
Objective of this
rate
fight
them
is
right.
to heal the boss to
Is
full.
it possible
If
to
you
mark the
expect
healer
heal,
as well, so that
portals
we
will
know where
spawn
they
throughout
are?
the fight,
So
only
we can
healers
kind
will
of get
take.
close
You
to
have
them,
15
so that
seconds
they
to
can
run
get
into
to
them.
us to
Once
heal
inside,
us?
you'll be able to fly. You have 20 seconds to fly into as
Star
many
and Mirror.
as you can. This will give you a 40-second
And
debuff
who's the
that
other
deals
one?
damage. It gives you mana regen and
Oh,
healing
Khaled.
increase.
Khaled.
Bosses will appear
He's
every
the
20
other one.
seconds, and you want
Thank
to stack
you.
this buff as much as
Yellow
possible.
and pink.
Split
Good,
the
because
tanks
they are
and DPS
healers.
and 2 healers into 2 groups.
Don't
We
forget,
won't be taking
when
the
that
portals,
cold
and we'll deal with the ants.
frost
Priority
comes out,
is
you
as
just step to the
follows.
side. No need
Skeletons,
running
does
all over
AoE
the
that hits
place.
the
I
boss.
know, I'm saying it
Bosses,
because
they
I done
can roll
it.
multiple strike on the boss.
Ran all over the
Archmages
place freaking
summon
out.
stuff on the ground that you need to move out of. Zombies.
When they're
Put stacking
impaled,
tanks,
healers
try to
heal
kite
like
them as
crazy,
range
and we all
persons
swap
down.
and we all
Abomination.
concentrate on the
They don't
impaled
really do
ones,
too much.
and we get them out of that
Goes.
thing.
Tank the boss here. Watch
It's
out
like
for
a
the
mega
and
web.
the tail.
It's like the
There
web
is
wrap,
white
but
taking damage throughout the
times
I think
The
that.
it's
boss will
better.
periodically pull the raid into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from
That's
this.
better.
Melee will get stacks
Rotate
to the
your
dot, permeating chill as
cooldowns.
they attack. Stop attacking to reset.
Focus your
this.
healing
Range will
on the
get stacks
impaled
to the dot,
players.
unchained
Yes.
magic, which will deal damage every 5 seconds
That's
depending on how
What's
many
it
spells
about?
you got.
We're going to
Stop
find out.
casting to
Let's do
reset
it. It
this.
sounds
When the boss
easy, but
flies up, run
once he
towards the
starts
stairs.
spinning,
Few
it's a
people will
freaky
be
thing.
marked. Marked
Everybody
people
run to
should
the
stack
center
in
when he
groups of
starts
2 at the
spinning.
bottom of
Can
the
I get,
stairs. Marked
Pally
players will become
listening
frozen
mic,
and deal
please?
splash AoE damage when first entombed.
If I give you
Similar
my
to
I lose
Saffron, you
wisdom,
want to
so
hide
it's gotta
behind
come
these
from
ice
Paladin.
blocks to avoid the explosions. There
got
are
4
4
pallies, so
explosions
should
in
be able to
random
handle it.
locations, so you'll need
I'm
to
putting
run around
Wisdom
the
and
ice blocks,
Sanctuary.
position out of line of sight. The ice tombs have a health bar. It's up to you to DPS them down to free the player. Try not to kill them before all 4 explosions go off. At 35%, the boss will no longer fly up in the air. Players will now get a stacking debuff on them, which
I'll get
increases
wisdom
damage taken. Every now and then, a player will be frost tombed. You will utilize
Did
this
anyone
frost
hear?
tomb by line of
Gangster.
sighting the boss. This will
Well,
drop
we're
the stacking
freaking out,
debuff.
you know,
Probably
'cause
want to
it's-
run into melee like so, and then
It's
have
a
the
new
raid stack behind this. and
raiding
buff your
team,
stacks.
but it's
Just
a
be
bloody
careful
good
as
one
the
once
frost
we
tomb
get
does
it.
AoE
Once we
damage
get
when
it,
it's first applied.
we'll be fine.
Yeah,
Lich King.
we have a
Phase
lot of
one,
pallies in
tank
our
the
guild
boss
as
here,
well.
while
They
tank
use
pick
some
up the
sort of
shambling
add-on
horrors and
called
tank them away from
Pally
the group.
Power.
Pally Power, yeah.
Periodically
Pally Power.
enrage, purge it. If you get necrotic plague, run to the shambling horror and get decursed. You'll jump to the closest target. It needs to be the shambling horror.
You know that
Repeat
though,
this
Kelly,
for the
didn't
rest
I
of the phase.
kind of
Once the
mention
phase
that
is
to
over and all the
everyone
shambling
in-
horrors
in
are
guild
dead,
chat?
the curse will
I'm
jump
gonna
to the
battle
left
shout
dispel
just
them
to
away
cover
from everyone else.
the
Passively
might.
cleave any other
That we just
small
lose
adds on
commanding
this
shout.
phase. Infest is a raid-wide AoE that does increased damage over time.
Yeah,
You need to
okay.
top everyone off above 90% health to
Alright,
get rid of
we're
it.
as
Every time
prepared as we're
necrotic
gonna
plague
be.
jumps from a target, the Lich King's damage will
They do a,
increase, so
pull
towards the end
timer,
of this phase,
10.
you'll need to cycle cooldowns on the main tank. At 70%, the intermission phase begins. Quickly run to the outside platform, have the tanks pick up the Raging Spirits. They do a
Let's do this
frontal that
first.
silences, so face them away. Nuke them down. Ice balls will spawn in the middle of the room that will travel towards the raid. Range nuke them down. After
Where am I
60
supposed
seconds,
to
the
click
phase will
to
end,
say
the edge of
yes?
the platform will be
gotta
destroyed, so get
remove
back in the main circle. Phase 2 will still
this,
have the infest
if you got that
Tank
window up,
swap
the
when
ready
you get
check
hit by
with the
Soul Reaper. Every
MRT on it.
45 seconds,
Remove that,
Valkyrie
and
will
then it'll be
spawn and
sitting
pick
underneath
players
that.
up. They will begin flying towards the edge of the platform to drop them to their
But
death.
are you
As
ready
see
to
as
do
it
the
goes
box?
down, you want to try and stack up in melee when the Valkyrie are about to spawn. Every 30 seconds,
know
the boss
these
will
logs.
cast Defile.
There's
This will
some-
mark a
we're not
player
ready
and
for
cause
that
them to
yet.
drop a black
But we'll
smoke
get there.
pool on the ground very shortly after. This pool does damage and rapidly
5, 4,
increases in size
3,
if a player is stood
2,
inside it. You need to
1.
run away as soon as you get this, and your raid needs to run the opposite direction. If you drop this in the raid, it will pretty much instantly fill the platform. There will be an overlap with Valkyrie and Defile at some point. It is better to stay spread for the
see, I went
Defile than
straight
to
through the
stack for the
freaking thing.
Valkyrie. At 45%, you'll get another intermission. This is the same as before with one extra add. Once the intermission
Spread
is
out.
over, tank the boss on the edge, knock down any extra adds you have left. You no longer cast
Okay, I've
Infest
got it
or
on me.
Valkyries.
Can you
Every
guys
30
get this thing
seconds,
off me,
you'll cast
please?
Fire
And pay it.
Spirits. This will spawn adds on your location.
Thank
Once
you.
they spawn, run to the opposite side of the platform. Adds will run towards players and explode on impact. When you're off range,
hurry
try and
up,
intercept
please.
them all.
Just stack,
Beat all the
stay
explosions
stacked
Yeah, coming
on
in,
it, just
yeah.
Pally.
anyone within you. Every 60 seconds,
Further your way apart, the more damage the same
Yeah,
flashes
further
us.
away.
transport
yeah.
them to a room in which they'll help some dude kill
Thank
something.
you.
If you're a healer, heal the friendly target.
Alright.
If you're a DPS,
Everyone in,
press
priest
onto
up the
a
back.
non-friendly target. Once the boss reaches 10% health, I don't know what happens next. We always wiped on this part.
Run to that middle, fellas.
Maybe you'll be mid-fortunate. Good luck. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks
that
for
bloody
watching.
ice
Thank you to
stuff.
my
Stay back
Patreon
up here, Mr.
patrons
Pelly.
and my channel members. I love you so much. I wish I could be there to hold you whilst we watch these videos together. Sadly, I cannot. Good luck on this crown. Farewell.
Just stack tight on me, mate. Right on me.
Yeah, you can get that fine.
Lord Moroga. Tank the boss in the middle, tank stack
Every
up,
35
boss will shoot
seconds this
fire
guy
in a
does
line
this
towards a
whirl.
faraway target, whether there is a dead zone in the melee where the fire will not hit. It's a good idea to have your healer players stack in here. Have your range stand out to bait the fire, and 25 men and 8 people stood out to bait the flames. Boss will impale random players, they'll take taking damage until the spike is killed. After 45 seconds, Maraudor will begin spinning at a rate of 2 wells per win. Spread out
Someone's
around this
impaled.
room as you'll jump from far away raid members. After this, you'll go back to the first phase. Rinse and repeat. Lady Death's healers in range spread out around the boss. Versus mana shield, if you need to DPS down before you need to worry about tanking. Watch out for death and decay on the ground. That's also mind controls. You will need to CC them. Be careful not to kill them as you'll be AoEing the ants that spawn. Ants spawn
Okay,
from both
both
sides of
spawns
the
now.
room. Have tanks pull them towards the boss so you can AoE them down. Melee, prio adherence. Ranged prio fanatics. Melee should try and interrupt all casts of the adherents. Fanatics will clear. Both types of ad can enrage, purging. Make sure you focus decursing the raid. Sometimes an ad will begin casting Dark Martyrdom. This will self-destruct them. Also reanimate that. This causes the adherents to take no spell damage. Just tag them normally and melee DPS them down. Reanimated fanatics take no physical damage. They also lifesteal. Don't bother having a tank pick them up. Simply range type and slow them down. Once the mana shield of the boss is depleted, they use the if there are any remaining ads, you can DPS in the boss. Use the boss action to engage, though it can only be effective for 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm
Ghosts will spin
impaled.
around the room and fixate players.
Someone.
Reaching it will explode.
Thank you.
That happens. Gun shift. Talk to the goblin and equip the jump. Keybind it so you can use it easily. Have some people sit with the cannons and spam cannon bombs until your energy is high, and then load with the second ability to see raiding bombs. Do not go over 100 energy. Or you
Oh, I'm impaled. Sorry, get me out, please.
Watch out for rockets landing
Thank
on
you.
Ads will
Thank
spawn
you.
in your ship, tank them, and DPS them down. Sergeants do a blade storm, so watch out now. Your cannons will get frozen. At this point, you
Alright.
tanks and healers
Alright.
and DPS to jump over to the other boat. Tank
One out
pick
of
up the
12.
commander. He does increased damage over time. Your DPS needs to kill the mage first.
One out
Once
of
the
that
mage is dead,
wasn't
you
too
can jump
bad.
back to your ship. However, you can also stay and kill any
Nicely
other ants on
done.
the ship. Stay as long as your tank can survive.
We run this away and go up these stairs to get
This
to
boss is a DPS
Lady
race.
Death
Range spread out
Whisperer.
by at least 12
She's
yellows.
delightful.
Tank swap when he casts
The
really
mechanics
good.
on
When the
her are
boss reaches
interesting.
100
I don't
energy,
think I
put
need
the mark
this.
on a player.
I think
That
my
player
thing's
will
better.
take massive damage for the rest of the fight. You want to keep them up. If they die, the boss will heal by 5% health. The mark persists even if you
Yeah,
get
I've already got it,
battle
mate.
You need to kill the boss before too many of these marks go out.
I
Dot
got the
boil will
bronze
put on random
pendant of the
players.
veneer.
There's a dot that also gives the boss energy each
Are we
tick.
rolling?
Try to
So-
engage
Rolling?
it.
Rolling?
Magnevo
My
will
pawn
target
says-
the player
MSOS?
and do AoE damage.
Definitely
This is why
don't
you'll
need
spread.
that.
Ads will spawn periodically on the boss. They are
If
pretty
you
much immune to
need
AoE
it,
damage.
roll
Range
for it.
need to
Is it
CC
who else?
these
Who's
guys.
the
Any
person
damage
that's
they do
gonna
will give the boss energy. So
Oh.
there's no point the tanks picking these up if
run
ranged
tank
will
next
kite.
week?
Enrage at 30%.
Fidget.
Festigut. This is a DPS
No, no, but like,
race
but the
again.
off
There is
tank.
raid-wide ticking damage
Who's the
throughout
person
fight.
who's
Tank in the
going?
middle. Tank swap at 9
Well, you have to
stacks.
discuss
Range
it with
spread out around
Jax
the room. Vial gas
and
will
come
put
to
on a player
something.
that does
That's
AoE
me.
Nice, though.
I'll need on it and I'll trade it to
Players. You need
whoever
to stack close in 3 separate groups for this. 2 in
needs
range
it.
and 1 in melee. Gas spores will explode after a short while.
Who's
with a short
speaking?
dot
I
on
haven't
anyone
got time to
affected.
check
Jax.
out. It's just
However, it'll also
Jax
help
is speaking,
you
yeah.
survive a later
I
mechanic.
don't think I
There's
need
30
that
seconds
neck.
of this buff to survive
I think
the
I have a
fight.
better
Every
one
30
because I spent
seconds,
all my
Festigut will
frost
start
emblem
buffing
ones.
his farts. This
But-
reduces
So
the
if you
raid
need
wide
it, just
ticking
talk to
damage.
Jax
Now
and
makes
they'll
it
trade
Yeah.
easier.
Whoever's gonna run
Once
tank
he has
next
done
week,
this 3
I'll
times,
trade
he
it
has
with you.
reached a state of
I'll
euphoria,
just give
and
it
his
to you.
melee attacks rip through the fabric of time and space. You should
Yeah,
use
well, he's
cooldowns
not
on
on
tanks
at the
to stay
moment.
alive.
As soon as
Cockface.
Baldrick
Ooze
transfers.
Ooze will fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every 20
We'll have 'em.
seconds. Head out around the boss. Every now and then, the boss will cast a slime spray. He'll target a
I
random
can't
raid
remember
member and
what
do
the
a cone.
DK's got
Just
on
move
it,
out
to
the
be
way.
honest.
The boss will cast
so,
mutated infection.
Doesn't matter.
players. You want to run to the edge of the
Does
circle
not
with this,
matter.
dispel the debuff, an ad will spawn from it.
Which
Fixate
side
the
you gonna
player that
pull
has the
from,
debuff.
Jack?
You want to
Left,
kite
right?
it around the room. When
I'll
a
go
second player
left.
gets
Everyone
the
seems to
infection,
be
you want
more
to run in front of the
over
ad
that way.
and
Alright,
kited
up to
get
you.
dispelled. The off tank should go.
Please
You want
just
to
stay up
guide
there
the
in line of
users. This
sight.
will cause them to merge and become a big ooze. It is now tauntable, but it deals insane amounts of damage. So have your tank kite it around the room. Every time a new debuff goes out, simply dispel it in the path of the big ooze, so it merges. Once it is merged 5 times,
Oh, 1 minute.
the
Oh,
explode will rain
sorry,
down
Khaled.
the
He's not our healers.
Professor
I didn't read the chat.
That's alright.
Phase right.
Pally's
Have your off-tank
spot
run
heal.
up to the table and drink the potion.
Right.
This will turn them into an abomination. Run over and suck up all the slime pools that spit. This will give them energy to use other spells.
Sharma needs to go out there and wind shear that caster.
If it reaches that target, it will explode and will split AoE damage on that. Orange will fixate the player. They can still move, but take ticking damage whilst it's alive. As
He's
it
back.
reaches the player, will
He's back.
explode and do massive raid-wide damage. The Abomination tank should prioritize slowing slimes and sucking up puddles and then killing the boss. Best strategy is to tank the boss next to the green slime spawn, nuke the green ad when it spawns, but if it targets a melee, you'll probably get hit. Since everyone is stacked already, the AoE damage won't be that bad. When the orange slime spawns, you can throw it far away and move it down as it makes its way over. 80% gets well into phase 2. It is exactly the
Got a
same
line of
as phase
sight
1.
with those castles with the tank.
Taking gases behind him every now and then. This will put
I just CC'd
just
one of them.
15 seconds. You don't run into it. Try to position the boss so his back is facing the wall. Wait for him to drop the gas and then move back into position. You'll also throw oozes towards players. It'll bounce towards where a target was when he first threw it. Move out of this. At 35%, you'll enter phase 3. This is a big DPS race. Your off tank will be booted out with the Abomination. Since you can no longer get rid of the slime, you'll need to start kiting the boss around the room away from the glowing slime areas. The boss will put a stacking debuff on the
You know, you really need to swap that to English so we can read it.
It'll probably become unhealable at 5 stacks. You want to have your tanks taking 1
Yeah, I have no
or 2
idea what
stacks
that
at a
is.
time. If you find you can't
You know,
use phasing time, try
Well, you
adding
can get
more
that, you know,
stacks
just
longer, stacks longer.
translate it over.
Blood Prince Council.
Otherwise,
These bosses
all the
have
best.
shared health every 45
To the left?
seconds. One
Oh,
of the
wow,
bosses
which way
will
you go?
become
To the
your
left.
If you get the
medium
skull
powered
on
boss
you,
will take damage. There is
run
no
away
reason to
from
AoE on this
everybody.
fight. Their abilities will
Please.
also do some
Oh,
spread out around the room, have a tank on each boss and begin building threat. Between 10 man have a ranged DPS tank.
Run away? Oh, it's on the
Keleseth
text.
deals shadow damage to their target. You'll also spawn shadow orbs around him. Your Keleseth tank wants to gain threat on these, as they will channel shadow resistance onto them, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered, Keleseth just deals greater shadow. Balamon swarms bombs around the room that slowly fall to the ground and explode. When you hit them with a few attacks to keep them from dying. Cast Shock Vortex, this will knock back a player and leave an orb on the ground. You must avoid this orb. When empowered, this ability will the entire raid but won't leave any orbs. Tal'Daram will do a frontal ability on a player, leaving a dot on anyone in the way. Conjure Flame is a ball that will move towards and AoE explode on a player. It will do less damage the longer you kite it. When empowered, the damage is only reduced when it passes through a player. Melee should try run into it when it's Spread out around the room, tanks stacked tightly and on another. The boss does link damage to the person closest to the main tank. Your tank will also get lead every now and then. The boss will pulse AoE damage. Swarming shadows will be cast on the player. Got fire on the ground, try drop it on the edges of the room. If you get beams on you, run to the edge of the players to get rid of it. 15 seconds into the fight, the highest threat DPS will get them. This increases their damage by 100%. After 60 seconds, they will have a small window in which set up an order in which you want DPS to be written. Every 2 minutes, the boss will run to the center and fire up the moon. Fear and drop loads of splash damage on the rings.
Nice.
Spread out. Drop tremors, master spell, field.
Okay, we've got to avoid the death and decay,
Your main
everyone.
objective of this
It's
fight
a
is to
big
heal the
green
boss.
thing that
So if you
appears
can't
underneath
spec
your
heal,
feet.
do it. Portals will spawn throughout the fight. Only the healers
We've got
want
the
to take.
cults
You
that
have
have come up
15
the
seconds
ads.
to run into them.
We've
Once
got a
you fly, you'll be
fanatic.
able to fly.
We gotta get
20
we
seconds
gotta get
flying
these
to as
ads
many
down
weight
because
clouds
what
as you
happens
can.
is
This will
they
give you a 40
they
second
grow
debuff that
in
deals damage,
strength.
gives you mana regen,
So I
And
gotta
they
kite
look-
them,
portals
they
right?
become
appear after 20
deformed.
seconds, and you want to stack this buff as much as possible.
I gotta,
Sorry?
I gotta grab the ads and then kite them.
You will not be taking
Oh
the
yeah, there's a
portals,
different way to
you'll
do it. Go
direct.
for it,
The prio
Tanky.
is as
Go for it.
follows. Skeletons does AoE that hits the boss too.
Go
Suppresses.
for it.
just
There's
making
different
sure.
ways of doing this. I've seen
Yeah.
about 3 so
Archmages
far.
summon stuff
Let's
on the
see
ground
how
that
you
need
go.
to move
How do you
out
do
of.
it?
Zombies. Puts a stacking dot on the tank. Try to kite
We
the
just
boss
wanna bring
and
it
burst
down.
these down. Abominations. They don't really do too much.
One of them turns
Syndra
into a
goes
zombie old
Tank the
taunt
boss
kiter.
here, watch out
Just
for
range
cleave
after kill,
and the
that's
tail
all.
whip. There is a
Yep.
raid-wide ticking damage throughout this fight. The boss will periodically
there's
pull
two
the raid
types
into
of
it and then
ads.
do a big
They're
AoE. Run away
caster
from
ads.
this. Melee will get stacks
They're
of a
called
dot permeating shell as
adherents.
they attack. Stop
And
attacking to
only the
reset
melee
this. Range will get stacks of a
can-
dot unchained
can
magic,
hit them.
which will deal damage
The
every
other
12
ones are called
seconds depending on how
fanatics.
many spells you cast. Stop
And the only
casting to
ones
reset
that
this.
can
When the
DPS
boss
them
flies up,
is
run towards the
they
stairs.
AoE
Few
and they
people will be
cleave,
marked.
so
Marked people should stack
that's
in
the
groups of 2 at
range.
the bottom
So
of the
the
stairs.
the
Slug
range
players
go
will
on
become
the
frozen and will
fanatics,
splash AoE damage when
and the
first
melee
engaged.
hit the
Similar to
adherents,
Saffron,
but
you
the
want to hide behind
adherents
these ice blocks to
will
avoid the
put a
explosions.
shield
There are
up,
4 explosions in random
and the
locations.
melee won't be able to
Constantly
damage
run
them.
around the ice blocks
So
to
the
position
shield
out line
has
of
to be
sight. The ice teams
cleansed
have a health bar. It's up to you to DPS
by
them down.
someone that
Play.
can
Try not to kill
cleanse.
them before all 4
And is there anyone?
At 35%, the boss will no longer fly up in the air.
Oh, you
Players
can
will now get
DPS them
stacking
off,
debuff
it's
on
just
them,
that
which
the
increases
spellcasters
damage taken.
can't
Every now and then, a
hit 'em
player
'cause
will be
it'll
frost
reflect the
tuned.
damage
You
and
will
back.
utilize this frost
But before
tune
the
by
shields
line
go
of sighting
up,
the boss.
there's
This will drop the stacking debuff.
the
You probably want to
Goldilocks
run into
period
melee
where
like
everything
so,
can be
and then have
damaged.
the raid stack
Yeah.
behind
So
this
the
and
most,
drop your stacks.
if you can
Just be
bunch them up
careful as the
quick,
frost
you can
tune
get
does
some
AoE
cleave damage
when
off
it's
and it
first
accelerates their
applied.
death.
The Lich King. Phase 1.
I really
Tank
want
boots
us to
here,
stand in the
off-tank
or
channeling
like we
horrors,
do in
tank
fighters
away
or
from
did in
the group
fighters, we
facing
stand
one.
around
They
the back.
periodically enrage, purge it. If you get necrotic
Or-
plague,
Doesn't really
roll
matter
the
in
shambling
normal.
horror and get decursed.
Okay.
They only
Oh,
come from
okay.
one side,
Speed the
so this
shambling
side
horror.
you'll get
Repeat this for the
2
rest of
melee,
the
1
phase.
cast,
Once
and
the
the other
phase is
side you
over
get 2
and all the
casts and 1
shambling
melee.
horrors are dead, the curse
When
will
we
jump
get the
to
2
the off-tank,
casters,
dispel
I'll
them
heroic
away
throw
from everyone
silence
else.
1 and then
Passively
sit
cleave any
on the
other
front
small
melee,
adds
I mean
on this
caster.
phase. Infest
and
is a
it'll bring
ring-wide
in.
AoE that does
This is the
increased damage
first, so
over
we're
time.
going to be
You need
keeping
top everyone
this
off
once we
above
figure out
90%
how to
health
do
to
it.
get
So
rid
if you're
of
saying
every
you
time
want us
necrotic
standing
plague
in the
jumps from a
front,
target, the Lich
then
King's
that will
damage
become the
increase,
habit.
so towards
You know
the
what I'm
end of
saying?
this phase, you'll need to
Yeah, that's
cycle
alright,
cooldowns
but
on the main tank.
If you don't do the
70%,
backstrap
the
properly, you
intermission
get a lot of
phase
issues with
begins.
line of
Quickly run to
sighting.
the outside
So,
platform, have the tanks pick up
Alright.
the raging
and
spell.
not to be
Well,
offensive,
defensive.
these people seem like
Silences,
you
so
need a little
face
bit
them
more
all, nuke them
practice
down.
working
Ice
as a
balls will
group, so
spawn in the middle of
I
the
think
room
that
that will
may
travel towards the
give us a
raid.
bit of
Range
grief to
nuke them
begin with.
down. After
On
60
normal,
seconds,
this
the
is
phase will end and the edge of the
pretty
platform
easy.
will be destroyed. So
Alright.
get back
We
in
just
the
gotta
main
stay up
circle.
and
Phase 2 will
avoid the
still have
ghosts
the
in phase
infest
2. That's the only
mechanic.
thing that's
Tank
really gonna
swap
kill
when
you.
they get hit by Soul Reaper. Every 45 seconds,
Okay, so
Valkyr
we're
will
staying in
spawn and
front.
pick players up. They'll begin
Oh, the
flying
mind
towards
controls
the edge
too.
of
Is
the
the
platform,
druid
drop them to
competent
their
in
death.
making
CC
sure they
nuke
get
these
the
down. You want
cyclones
to try
off?
and stack up in melee when the
Yeah, so we
Valkyrie
get
are
them
about
down
to
before
spawn.
that
Every
happens.
30 seconds, the boss will
If
cast
anyone
a
gets
fire.
mind
This will
controlled
the
though,
player and
guys,
cause
don't
them
kill them
strike.
because
Black
it's one of
smoke will
us.
on the
Yeah.
ground very shortly
Um,
after.
Yeah,
This
stop
pool
your
does
cleave
damage and
and
rapidly
splash damage
increases
when
in
that's there.
size if a player is stood inside it. You need to run away as soon as you get this, and your raid needs to run the opposite direction. If you
So
drop this
with
in the
the
raid,
death and
it'll pretty much
decay,
instantly fall
move
down.
away from the
If you're
vengeful
over
shades
the Valkyr and
too.
Defile at some point,
Vengeful
it's better
shades
to
will
stay
come, just
spread
run
for
away
the
from
Defile
them.
than to stack to
Yeah,
the
it's
back.
just in the last phase when the
45%
shield's
will get
down.
Yeah,
another
but they will
intermission. This is
come,
the same as before.
burn down
one
the
extra
psychic
add.
screens,
Once the intermission
tanks,
is over, tank the
cult
boss on the edge,
fanatics
nuke down
facing
any
away,
extra
but then we've
adds you
got
have
that
left. You
melee,
no longer
avoid
cast
standing in front
Infest
of the
or
cult
Valkyries.
fanatics.
Every 30 seconds, he'll cast Vile Spirits.
I'm
This
sorry,
will
I'm just
spawn
reading
adds
the
on your
notes that I put
location.
down here,
Once
so
they
I might as
spawn,
well,
run
right?
to the opposite side of the platform. Adds will run towards players and explode on
Yes,
impact.
We're
we
When
need
off
to
tanks
already
try and
cover
intercept them all.
Are you happy
beat all the
for me to put a
explosions
pull
away
timer
from
up
the
yet,
raid, or
Silver
anyone
Fox?
with an immunity. Every 60
Yes,
seconds,
please.
the boss will cast Harvest Soul on a player. This will transport them to a room in which they'll help some dude kill
So
something. If
do
you're a
I
healer,
pull
help a
from the
friendly
left
target. If you're a
into the
DPS,
middle?
DPS and interrupt the unfriendly
Yeah.
target. Once the boss
Okay.
reaches
The melee's
10%
going to run
health,
in
I don't know
as the
what
caster
happens
hold
next.
silence
We
and
always
bring in.
wiped on this part and went again.
Let's do this.
Maybe
Let's
you'll
just
be
do
more
it.
fortunate.
If
Yeah,
we
I
stuff it up,
can
we'll stuff it up.
Holy
We'll do it
Shield
again.
throw
I guess that's it. Thanks
silence the
for
caster as
watching.
well.
Thank you to my
Just go in there,
Patreon
DPS, go in and
patrons
smack her,
my channel
start her up.
members. I love you
Thanks
so
for sitting
much.
What is this
I wish I could be there to hold you whilst we watch these videos together. Sadly, I cannot.
This shall be
Good
your
luck in Ice Crown.
final
Farewell.
resting place.
Here they are. Here's the fanatics. So, range, get those fanatics down. Not yet, he is there.
Lord Maroga. Tank the boss in the middle, tank stack up. Boss will shoot fire in a line towards a faraway target. However, there is a dead zone in the melee where fire will not be. It's a good idea to have your healers stack in here. Have your range stand out to bait the fire. From 25 men, you need 8 people stood out to bait the flames. Boss will impale random players. They'll take
Easy
ticking
work.
damage until the spike is killed. After 45 seconds, Maroga will begin spinning at a rate of 2 whirls per wind. Spread out around this room as a jump from faraway raid members. After this, it will go back to the first phase. Rinse and repeat.
Oh, I keep putting that wrong one. I've got to move
Lady
that one.
Death Whisper. Healers in range spread out behind the boss. Boss has a mana shield that you'll need to DPS down before you can fire that tank. Watch out for death and decay on the ground. Boss also mind controls. You'll need to CC them. Be careful not to kill them as you'll be AoEing the ads that spawn. Ads spawn from both sides of the room. Have tanks pull them towards the boss and AoE them both. Melee, try and appearance.
Death and decay.
Melee should try and interrupt your cast of the appearance. Fanatics will cleave.
Melee on appearance. Range on fanatics.
Sometimes Nad will begin casting time onto them. This will self-destruct them and cause AoE damage. Also reanimate them. This causes the adherents to take no spell damage. Just tank them normally and melee DPS them down. Reanimated fanatics take no physical damage. Also lifesteal damage. So don't bother having a tank pick them up. So range kite and slow them as you need them down. Once the mana shield is depleted, phase 2 will begin. Clear up any remaining adds and begin DPSing the boss. Move the boss out of the there'll be an first bolt for 20 seconds. While the ghost will spin around the room and fixate players. Reach and not blow explode. Avoid that happening.
New ads
Go
coming.
shift. Talk to the goblin and equip your jump. Keybind
To our
so you
left.
can use it easily. Have some people sit in the cannons. You want to spam cannon blast until your energy is high.
Range on
The
fanatics.
second ability, incinerating
Melee
blast.
on
Do
the
not
other.
go over to the high energy. I don't need to tell you to shoot the other ship.
Good work on the ads.
Landing on the ground, ads will spawn
Her
on the ship, tank them,
mana
and
will
DPS
come
them.
down, and then that
Sergeants
shield
do
thing
avoid
should
You get
come
this
down.
ad, this ad that's come up.
Cannons will get
There's another one.
Clean that up.
Tanks and healers and DPS to jump over to the other boat. Tank, pick up the commander, who does increased damage over time. The DPS needs to kill the mage first. Once the mage is dead,
Right,
you
I
can
need a
jump back
pusher.
to your ship. However, you can also stay and kill any other
Stop
ally on
damage.
the ship. Stay as long as your tank can survive.
Phase
Repeat
2.
this. Swordfang. This boss is a DPS race. Range spread out by at least
Someone else get next intro.
tank swap when it counts Rune of Blood. When the boss reaches
Oh,
100
good.
energy
I don't want
on a
to.
player, that player will take massive damage for the rest of the fight. Keep them up. If they die, the boss will heal by
Watch out for those ghosty
Marcus,
things.
even if you get
They'll just chase you for a
kill the
little
boss
while.
before too many of these marks do. Blood boil will be put on random players. The dot also gives the boss energy each tick. So try to immunity. Blood Nova will target a random player.
No.
This is why you're spawned. Ads will spawn periodically on the boss. They're pretty much immune to AoE damage. Range need to CC and move these
Pull her
down
up near the
where any
front of
damage
the
they
stairs,
do
mate.
will give the
The
boss
ads don't
energy.
come in.
So there's no point in tanks picking these up if ranged can
Watch out for
kite.
that
In
green
range
here.
30%. Festival.
Got 5 of these stacks.
There's grade-wide ticking damage.
That's
throughout the
alright,
fight.
mate.
Tank in the
You'll
middle.
lose
Tank
threat
swap
zone
and
and
restacks.
transfer to me.
Range spread out around the room. Biogas will be put on a player that does AoE damage. 3 gas spores will put out on random players. You need to stack close and 3 seconds. 2 in range and 1 in metal. Gas spores will explode after a short
I'll get
while
next
and
one.
short dot on anyone affected. However, they'll also give you a buff to get this hard as you can. You need 3 stacks of this buff to survive the fight. Every 30 seconds, Vestigut will start huffing its farts. This reduces the grade-1 ticking damage, and now makes it high as fuck. Hit like a machine. Once he has done this 3 times, he has reached a state of euphoria, and his melee attack will rip through the fabric of time and space. You should use it all out to stay alive. Cover this. These will fill a quarter of the size of the room, switching every 20 seconds. Spread out around the boss. Every now and then, the boss will cast a slime spray, he'll target a random raid member and do a cone. Just move out the way. The boss will cast mutated infection on players. You want to run to the edge of the circle with this, dispel the debuff, an ad will spawn from it. It will fixate the player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room. When a second player gets the infection,
Did you need on it?
Good job, guys.
Kited and get
That's
the
alright,
spell.
that's
The
alright,
off
I
tank
should
should go
read.
with them. You want to collide the users. This
Don't
will
take
cause
care
them
of
to
my
merge and
hands.
become a big ooze. It is now tauntable, but it deals insane amounts of damage. So have your tank kite it around the room. Every time a new debuff goes out, simply dispel it on the path of the big ooze, so it merges. Once it is merged 5 times,
I'm gonna go back
explode
Fury
and
just for this
rain
trash
down
through
on
here
everyone.
so I can get more
Avoid it.
kills.
Professor
Oh,
Putricide. Phase 1. Have your off-tank run up to the table
We'll
and
go
drink the
back
potion.
again.
This will turn them into an abomination.
I mean, I'm
They need to run over
switching
and
specs
suck
to
up all the
Fury.
slime pools that spawn.
Alright.
This will give them energy to use other spells. 2 types of ads will
Pally tank's job.
alternatingly spawn at either of the ooze tanks on the side of the room. Green will fixate a target and root them in place. If it reaches that target, it'll explode and deal split AoE damage.
We can go up, it won't hurt
Orange
us.
will
We can
fixate
wait
the
up
player.
here.
They can still move though. They'll take ticking damage whilst it's
No,
alive.
we've done the
If it
roll,
reaches
so
the
let's
player
go.
will explode and do massive raid-wide damage. The abomination.
I was
catch,
waiting for
will
that thing
stone
to
slimes,
kill it. It was
then
one of the
sucking
only
up
things in
puddles,
here that I
and
was
then killing the
interested in.
boss. The best strategy is to just
You
tank the
needed
boss
it
next to
too.
the green slime spawn. Move the
healers
green ad
first.
when it spawns, but if it targets a melee, you'll probably get hit. Since everyone is stacked already, the AoE damage will
Okay, we're coming up to the ship. Now, what should we know about the boat? We need 2 players on the cannons. We're going to be hit with the balls of fire, so stay out of it. We're going to be hit with battle fury by the commanders, and they cleave in front of them. Need to kill the ads before they level up. Did you know the ads actually level up on this boat thing? I did not know that, so we need to kill them before they level up. And there's
Move out of this. At 35%,
yeah,
you'll enter
I
phase 3.
thought that
This is a
we
big
need to
DPS
keep
race.
1
Your
OT,
off-tank will be booted out of the abomination, so you
range,
can no longer get rid of the
and a
slime. You need to
healer
start kiting the boss
on the
around
boat,
room,
and
away
the
from
rest,
drones
melee,
and
tank,
boss will
whatever,
put a
go
stacking
and
debuff
put
on the tank
those
that will hit the entire
those
range. You'll persist
things
for
that
the rest
fly
of the
them
fight.
across
It'll
to the
probably
other
become
side. What are those
unhealable
things
at
called?
5 stacks. You want to have your tanks taking 1 or 2
Yeah, jump
stacks
packs.
each time, and then
The
taunting
the
up. If you find
backpacks,
you
yeah,
can't beat this phase
yeah.
in time,
But
try adding a third tank so you
Boldrick,
can
you were
split the
saying
stack
something
longer.
different there, weren't you?
Blood Prince
What was
There
it?
are lots of people
These
do
bosses
this
have
that
shared
thing
health. Every
lots
45
of different
seconds, one of the
ways.
bosses will become empowered.
Yeah, the objective is just to kill them all.
Some people put melee and cannons,
will also do some extra stuff. Spread
'cause
out around the room. Have a tank
normally
on each
the
boss and begin
melee
building
go
a fight.
over,
If you in 10 man have a
but
ranged DPS,
Well,
tank,
yes.
kill
You
a
can
set.
still
Kill a
do
set,
the melee
deal
go in
shadow
the
damage to their
cannons, and then when the
target. You'll
cannons
also
freeze
spawn shadow
over,
orbs around him.
Which
You'll
they
kill
will
which
for
they
the team
do when
comes
the
over.
when the
gain
mage
threat
comes
immunities
out,
as they will channel
and
shadow
then the melee
resistance on
just
them,
jump
making
over.
it
But
easier to
there are
save
lots
the
of
boss.
ways to
When
do it. You
empowered,
just want to
Kalsef
put your
just
highest
deals greater
DPS
shadow
over and get the
damage.
mages out
Valinor
as soon as
spawns bombs
possible.
around
Alright,
the room that will slow
so the highest DP. Was that you by any chance?
I mean, I always do jump over, but I'm not the highest DPS here, so I don't know, it's up to you.
It's a bit based on your raid makeup because you're so melee heavy. You're going to have your 2 ranged out killing the axe trolls because they get an escalating buff that makes them virtually
Don't be too keen, guys.
When empowered, the damage is only
You gotta
reduced when it
go
passes
over
through a player.
and fight the commander over there, and then that brings the battle mage out.
Spread
So,
out around the room,
let him get
tanks
over
stacked
first,
tightly
let the
on one
tank go
another.
over
The boss
first.
does link damage to the person
Dips,
closest to the
we
main
just need
tank.
raid
Your
buffs
tank will
from
also
you.
get bleed every now and then.
Tanks,
The boss will pulse
one on
AoE
the
damage.
enemy
Swarming
and one
shadows
over
will be
here.
cast on the player. It will drop
So
fire
one
on
of
the
you can
ground.
put
Try
on
drop it
your
on the
backpack
edges
and
of the room.
go
If
for
you
it.
get
Watch
bleed
out,
on
because
you,
I've fallen
run to
off
the
the
other
damn
team's
ship
players to get
twice
rid of
so
it.
far.
15 seconds into
I
the
got
fight,
too
the
close to
highest
the
threat
edge.
DPS will get bitten. This
Yeah,
increases their damage
nuke
by
mage trying to freeze
100%.
the
After
cannons.
60
That's
seconds, they will have a small window in which they must break
right.
another
Most
fight.
of it though
Otherwise,
is
it'll become mind
just be
control.
careful
Set up
and
an
kill
order in which you
things.
want DPS to be bitten.
Oh,
Every
no.
2 minutes, the boss will run
What
to the
else is
center
there?
and fly up in the air. It will fear and drop
Unless
loads of
someone's got
splash
something
damage on
else
the
they
raid,
want
so
to
spread
say.
out. Drop tremors, master
Just
spell,
don't
field.
rush.
Villith
Get no
Druid
one to that
Dream
other ship. Don't go
Main
before the
objective
tank.
of
The
this
tank
fight is to heal the
opens.
boss to full.
Do you want heals? One heal to go over, one heal to stay?
Yeah, one heal go over, one heal stay, melee go over. Range will stay here because every 35 seconds they're going to appear on the deck of our ship, and we need to knock them down. When I say they, I mean whatever they're called, bad guys.
We just so like want to just clear this trash now.
And we'll deal with the
Yeah.
edge.
Okay,
Prio
yep.
is as follows. Skeletons does AoE that hits the boss too. Suppresses, they channel on multiple strike on the boss. Put stacking dot on the tank, try to kite them with range burst. Domination. What do you do? Tank boss here.
He gets so excited when he runs into the tail.
The boss will periodically pull the raid into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from this. Melee will get stacked to the dot, permeating chill as they attack. Stop attacking every second. Then you get stacked to the dot and change magic, which will do damage every 5 seconds depending on how you spend it. Stop casting and reset. When the boss flies up and travels the stairs, few people will be marked. The marked people should stack.
I was wondering what the fuck that NPC was doing, but they're like an ally. I was trying to taunt them.
Similar to Saffron, you want to hide behind these ice blocks to avoid the explosions. There are 4 explosions in random locations, so you'll need to constantly run around the ice blocks to position out line of
What's
sight.
this?
The ice tombs have a health bar. It's up to you to DPS them down to free the player. Try not to kill them before all 4 explosions go off. At 35%,
I wouldn't
boss
bother
will
with
no
the
longer
quest
fly up in the
personally,
air.
but-
Players will now get a
No,
stacking
don't
debuff
take
on them,
no
which
quiz.
increases damage taken. Every now and then, a player will
Alright,
frost
I already
tomb.
accidentally
You
took it.
utilize this frost tomb by
Oh,
line
okay.
of sighting the boss. This will drop the
I don't know,
stack.
should I
You want to
abandon
run
it?
into melee
I don't know
by
what it
and then
is.
have the raid stack
Nah,
behind
it's
it.
alright.
Don't shut the door, I
Just
can't
be
hear.
careful as the frost tomb does
Alright,
AoE
you
damage
ready?
when it's first applied. The Lich King. Phase 1. Tank boss here. Tank pick up the shambling horrors and tank them away
Yeah,
from
really.
the group and facing it. They periodically enrage. Purge it. If you get necrotic plague, run to the shambling horror and get decursed. You'll jump to the closest target. This needs to be the shambling horror. Repeat this for the rest of the phase. Once the phase is over and all the shambling horrors are dead, tank and drive them away from everyone else. Passively cleave any other small ads. Green white AoE that has increased damage over time. You need to top everyone off above 90% health to get rid of it. Every time the plague jumps from the target, the Lich King's damage will increase, so towards the end of this phase, you'll need to cycle cooldowns on the main tank. 70%, the intermission phase begins. Quickly run to the outside platform, have the tanks pick up the raging spirits. They do a frontal that silences, so face them away. Nuke them down. Ice balls will spawn in the middle of the room that will travel towards the raid. Range nuke them down. After 60 seconds, the phase will end.
There's one
The
up
edge of the
here,
platform
he's
will be
coming, that
destroyed,
guy.
so get back in
Need
the
to
main
get
circle.
down.
Phase 2 will still have the infest mechanic. Tank swap when they get hit by Soul Reaper. Every 45 seconds, Valkyrie will spawn and pick players up. They'll begin flying towards the edge of the platform, drop them to their death. CC and nuke these down. You want to try and stack up in melee when the Valkyrie are about to spawn. Every 30 seconds, the boss will cast a fire. This will mark a player and cause them to drop a black smoke pool on the ground very shortly after. This pool does damage, rapidly increases in size if the player is stood inside. You need to run away as soon as you get this, and your raid needs to run the opposite direction. action.
And
If you
here
drop
we
this in the
are.
raid, it'll pretty much
Onto
instantly
the
fill the
boat.
platform. There will be an overlap with Valkyrie.
I'm not changing it to heroics or nothing.
It's better to stay
until we
spread for the
learn
Defile than to stack
how
for
to
the
do it.
Valkyrie. At 45%, you will get another intermission.
We'll
This
leave
is
it
the
to
same as
once.
before with one extra ad. Once the intermission is over, tank the boss on the edge, nuke down any
Okay,
extra
whoever's
ads
going
you have
over to
left.
the other
He no
side,
longer casts
grab your
Infest or
backpack from one of these
Valkyries.
guys
Every
up
30
here.
seconds, he will cast
I've
fire
never bloody
spirits.
bothered
This will
to grab
spawn
it because
ads
I've
on your
never wanted
location.
it. This guy
Once
here.
they spawn, run to the opposite side of the platform. Ads will run towards players and explode.
Because you
on
got
them.
better
When you're off
Tank,
try and
heal,
intercept them
melee.
all and eat all the
Maybe you can
explosions
grab
away from
yourself
the
a
raid,
backpack.
or anyone with an immunity.
And
Yeah,
you too.
am I?
Well,
Which
welcome.
do you want me to jump or are you jumping?
You got better AOE threat, like burst AOE threat than me.
Okay.
You stay on the boat and catch him. I'll jump over.
Okay.
The pally healer just needs to put beacon on me. It's got a huge range, and then you can. I'll come back to the edge of the boat
Practice
anyway.
with your backpack. Practice with your
Can you
backpack before you
just
go.
give us a couple of minutes before you start it?
No, we're not going to start it yet. Practice with your backpack if you've grabbed one. Ryan, you wanted to go over. You can go over. Grab a backpack. Oh, see what I mean? These things.
Good luck in Ice Crown.
So make sure you're going in the right direction because you're going to be jumping over to the ship when it comes. I mean, I've seen people actually.
Beacon's on gape, and I'll keep that up.
Lord
Hey,
Maroon,
you.
tank the boss in the middle.
It's you, right?
The boss will shoot fire in a line towards a faraway target. However, there is a dead zone in the melee.
Yeah,
where
there's
fire
no
will
way I'm
not
going
hit.
over
It's
to
a
the
good
ship.
idea to have
I'm
your
just
healers
not
stack in
good
here.
at this
Have your
shit.
range stand out to bait the fire. In 25 man, you need 8 people stood out to bait the flames. The boss will impale
So
random
how many-
players.
how
They'll take
many,
ticking damage until the spike is killed.
whoever's
After
left over
45
here,
seconds, Moroga will begin
these guys are
spawning
going
at a
to
rate of
appear
2
about
wells per
here,
wave.
and we just
Spread out
knock them
around this
down.
room as you'll jump from far away raid members. After this, it will go back to the first phase. Rinse and repeat. Lady Death Whisper. Healers and range spread out behind the
The
boss.
gun's
Boss has a
damage
mana
is
shield, but
increased,
you'll need
just
DPS
like
down
by
before you need to worry
the
about
siege
tank.
weapons
Watch
in
out for
Ulduar.
death and decay on the ground.
Put 2
Boss
highest
also
gear
mind
score.
controls. You'll need to CC them.
Melee
Be
in
careful
here.
not to kill them as you'll be
2
burying
ranged
the
attack
ads
the
that
axe
spawn.
throwers.
Ads spawn from both
Pally
sides
tank
of the
and that,
room.
sort
Tanks
this
pull
out.
them towards
Yep.
the boss, so
Use
you can AoE
Foxy
them.
Lady.
Melee, prio appearance.
Silver
Ranged
Foxy, I
prio
should say.
command. Melee, prio
Foxy Lady sounds good to me.
appearance.
You can heal that.
The
Pally,
dream, the dream.
Pally heals. Come here.
Make sure you focus
I'll deal with
details
the
on raid.
with the
Sometimes
boss on the other
now
boat.
casting Dark Martyrdom.
And yeah,
This will
when the
self-destruct
cannons
all
freeze,
the
the
AoE
melee
damage.
that's in the cannon jump
Also
over,
reanimate that ad. This
and
causes
so
the
do the
heroes to
range,
take no
and
spell
nuke that
damage,
thing down
just tank
quick.
them normally, and
Jump
melee
back, then I'll
DPS
jump
them
back,
down.
and just rinse and
Reanimated
repeat.
fanatics take no physical damage.
Right,
They
I'm
also
staying here.
lifesteal lots.
Who's
They
going to
also
hop on
have
the
an attack
cannon? I'm
quickly.
not.
Simply range kite and slow them as you nuke them. Once the mana shield of the boss is depleted,
Melee.
phase 2 will
It has to
begin.
be.
Clear up any remaining ads and begin DPSing the boss.
Someone?
Move the boss
Anyone?
out of death
Someone?
and decays.
Anyone?
There'll be an AoE frostbolt every 20 seconds.
Why?
The
You want
ghost
to?
will spawn around the room and fixate players. If they reach
Someone?
you, they'll
Anyone?
Yeah,
happening.
the shaman's got high
Gun
gear
shit.
score getting the
Talk to
cannon.
the goblin and
Get in the
equip the
cannon.
jump pack. Key
There you
bindings,
go.
you can use it easily. Have some people sit in the cannons. You can spam cannon blast until your energy
You're
is
aiming
high, and then
for
load with the
The
second
guys that
ability,
throw the
Incinerating
axes, so
Blast.
I guess you're
You
aiming
go
for the
over 100
range.
energy, or
And
you
even one of the
overheat,
Reds
get
jump
locked
in
out
as
for
well.
5 seconds. I mean, I don't need to tell you that you need to shoot the other ship, right? Watch out for rockets
Into
landing
the
on the ground.
cannons we
Ads will
go.
spawn on your ship, tank them, and DPS them.
Do they know how to
down.
operate the
Disciples do a
cannon? Do
blade
they know you
storm,
can
so
cook
watch out melee. Your cannons will
Well,
get
yeah, you
frozen.
can
At this
cook them,
point,
so I
you'll
did
tank
write
some
that down.
healers
I
and
was reading
DPS
that. I
to go
forgot to
over the
mention
other
it.
tank, pick up the
worry
commander.
about
Get up to about
Increase
90%
damage over
heat
time.
and then
DPS
dump
needs to
it
kill
with
the
your
mage first. Once the
attack
mage is
to
dead, you can jump back to your ship. However,
Okay,
you
did you
can
hear
also
that?
stay and kill any
Yeah,
other ads on
yeah.
the ship. Stay as long as your tank can survive. Repeat this.
Give you the boot.
This boss
That's
is
why I'm not on it.
range spread
Stop
out for
there.
at least 12 yards. Tank swap when he casts Rune of Blood. When the boss reaches 100 energy, he'll put a mark on a player. That player will take massive damage for the rest of the fight. You want to keep them
Right,
up. If
everyone's
they
ready.
die, the boss
Start
will
her
gain
up.
5% health.
We're ready.
The mark persists.
Oh,
even if
somebody
you get
talk to
battles.
the
You need to
commander.
kill the
Oh,
boss before too many of these
oh,
marks
thank
go
you,
out. Blood
thank
boil
you.
will be put on random players. It is a dot that also gives the boss energy each tick. So try to immunity it off. Blood Nova will target a random player and do AoE.
So watch out for the
This
balls
is why
of
you'll
fire.
spread. Ads
Stay
will
out of
spawn
them.
periodically on the boss. They're pretty much immune to
Watch
AoE
out for that
damage.
commander
Range
when he
need to
gets
CC and
battlefield.
move these down
When he
quick. Any
clears in
damage
front,
they
it's
do
quite
will
severe.
give the boss energy.
Kill
So
the
there's no point
ads.
the tank's picking these up if ranged
Before
they
they
level.
level.
range at 30%. Festagut. This is DPS
35 seconds, the casters will spawn right smack here in the middle of this ship, so we need to move them
Range
down.
spread out around the room. Biogas will be put on a
Meanwhile,
player
have
for
fun.
AoE damage.
Have fun.
3 gas
Don't go
spikes.
over the side of the boat like I I know, I
You
did.
need to stack close in 3 separate groups for this. 2 in ranged and 1 in melee. Gas balls will explode after a short while and put a short dot on anyone affected. However, it'll also give you a buff that'll help you survive a later mechanic. You need 3 stacks of this buff to survive the fight. Every 30 seconds, Vestergaard will start huffing his farts. This reduces the raid-wide ticking damage, but now makes him high as fuck and hit like a machine. Once he is done with 3
Watch out for
times,
those
he
things
has
on the
to
ground.
stop.
There's the bombs I was talking about. There's the hammers flying everywhere.
You should use cooldown when the tanks stay alive. Codface. Ooze will fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every 20 seconds, spread out around the boss. Every now and then, the boss will cast a slime spray, will target a random
Nicely
member,
fired. I
or
saw that cannon taken out.
away. The boss will cast mutated infection on players. You want to run to the edge of the circle with this, dispel the debuff, and add will spawn from it. You'll fixate the player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room. When a second player gets the infection,
Oh no.
What's happened?
The off tank should go with it. You want to collide.
You gotta jump over, Jax.
I don't have a backpack.
Insane amounts of damage. So how
Oh,
many
what's going on?
every time a new debuff goes
I'll get these, you just get ready to jump over.
So I took this guy.
5 times, then it'll explode and will rain down on the ground. Avoid it. Professor Putricide. Phase 1. Have your off tank run up to the table and drink
Oh,
the
watch out for
this
the
will turn
bomb.
them into an abomination.
You got your pack on, Jack?
Go over
Yeah.
here, Jax.
This will give them
Just
energy to use
jump,
other spells.
Oh
Oh, you gotta
shit!
use your rocket pack.
Alternating
That's alright.
Use your rocket. Oh, okay, we've lost one, I guess.
I left.
Don't worry, you're not the first.
Why can't I use this?
Who's the first in this skill? Watch out, get off that bloody bomb site there.
Yeah, you can blame that on me, people. When I used my equipment swapper, it took me jump pack off.
Ah. Oh, no wonder you said
What?
that.
I don't know why it's.
Oh, indeed. That's alright. Let's wipe on this boat.
Just wipe it up, because I can't get over there and the other tank's off a boat.
Oh, did you fall, Jax? Was that you?
I fell, but I somehow got saved. But my thing is not working.
Yeah, you if you fall off the side of the boat, you get ported back to the boat.
Okay.
Let it go, Wairua. Let it go.
35% you'll interface. This is a big DPS. Your off tank will be booted out of the
Good if you're the only one still
in.
in.
Get rid of the slime. You need to start kiting
Two tank, it just won't die.
grown slime balls. Boss will put a stack of debuff on the tank.
I'm not even pressing
It
anything.
will persist for the rest of the fight. It'll probably
Okay, I'm
become
going to,
unhealable at 5 stacks. You want to have
Yeah,
your
blame me for
1 or
that.
2 stacks each time.
I blame you.
Beat this phase
Not the
in
fact
time.
that we're a noob team.
Nah, it was me.
Blood Prince Council.
Because when I
These
started up, I
bosses
was still in
have shared
Fury, I
health
swapped
every
out. I
45
thought, ah,
seconds,
yeah, it's
one
all
of the
good.
bosses
Save the
will
day.
become empowered.
Gotta
When you go
save-
jump,
save the day.
there's no reason to
Realised,
ignore them in this fight. Their abilities will also
yeah.
do some extra stuff. Spread
Put
out
me
around
shirt
the
on and
room,
not me
put a
rocket
tank
pack.
on each boss and begin building threat. If you're
Alright,
10
that's a
man,
lesson
range
learned.
DPS tank Kellereth.
Oh, okay. Wait, so you have to like put it on your.
Give you a little donation to put in your guild bank for repairs.
Gain threat in these as
Silver
well as add
boxing.
shadow resistance onto them, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered,
We're
Kellereth
good.
deals greater
Don't
shadow
worry.
damage. Valinar spawns bombs around the room that will
We
slowly fall to
expect
the ground
a
and
few
explode.
wipes.
You need to hit them with a few
Yeah,
attacks to keep them
That's,
focused.
I'm not even
Shot
lying, that's the
vortex,
second time I've
this will
wiped on
knock back a player
gunship since
and leave
release.
orb on the ground.
Which
You must
teleport we
avoid
use?
this orb. When empowered, this ability will hit the
Oh,
entire raid but won't
you
use
just
any
the one-
orbs. Tal'Daram.
Is
Is there one there?
Ability on
I'm just
player.
gonna get heals
So I'll
first.
get
before-
two choices. Which
Conjure
choice?
Flame is a ball that will move towards
The bottom
you.
one.
It'll
Bottom one,
explode on
yeah.
the player.
Yeah, the
The
bottom.
less damage, the longer you kite it. When empowered, the
I think it
damage
my
will increase
backpack
when passes through a
didn't
player.
work
Melee should try run
because
into it when they see it spawn.
it wasn't on before the fight started.
Spread out around the room, tanks stacked tightly on one another. The boss does link damage to the person closest to the main tank. The off tank will
Okay,
also
so
get
it's the
bleed
bottom
every now
one,
and then.
guys.
The boss will pulse AoE damage.
Rampant
Swarming shadows
swords.
will be cast on the player. It will drop fire on the ground. Try drop it on the edges
And
of
you
the
can
room.
ride
If
your
you get
mount
beams
here
on
and
you,
get back
run
to the
the other
fight on
beamed
the
players
mount.
to get rid of it.
You have to
15
run.
seconds into the fight, the highest threat DPS will get bitten. This increases their damage
I just-
by
I walked
100%.
through the
After 60
instance.
seconds, they will
Gonna
have a
be a
small
while.
window in which they must bite.
I think
and
next time we do
otherwise
this,
they'll
we will be
become
doing
minded.
it on
Set up an
normal.
order in which you want
Get it?
DPS to be bitten. Every 2 minutes, the boss will run to the center and fly up in the air.
Push down,
It'll
peeps.
fear and drop loads of splash damage on the raid, so spread out. Drop Tremors, Master Spell, Fear Ward.
Oh, thank you.
Villithria Dreamwalker. Your main objective of this fight is to heal the boss to full, so if you can off-spec heal, do it. Portals will spawn throughout the fight. Only
okay, so we've got it this time. You'll know what we're doing.
You'll be able to fly.
Yeah, I got me jump pack on.
Oh, not that. I was thinking about the bombs and every other thing that comes at us. And every 35 seconds, those casters spawn right here where we're sitting now. So we've got to be able to turn around and get them down.
Wow.
The prio is as follows.
Are you the healer that wants to jump, or does Daz want to jump? Either one of you.
No, you don't need to jump. Because the people who attack and don't get attacked, the axe will keep attacking the boat, and then the boss will be attacking me, and I'll move back towards the edge of the boat so the healers are...
Oh, so you can get healed, okay.
Yeah, they can just plan themselves.
Alright, so the healers can stay here on the side. But Ryson wants to go jumping all over the place. Right.
Stop attacking to reset this. Range will get stacks of a dot unchained magic, which will deal damage every 5 seconds.
To go straight over the edge.
Stop casting to reset this. When the boss flies up, run towards the stairs. A few people
were you happy on the cannons? Whoever was on the cannons, hop back on the cannons. Thank you.
Spark players will become frozen and deal splash AoE damage
Cannon people.
first entombed.
Nothing froze up, I noticed. The cannons turn to ice when the crew comes over here, and we have to start fighting them. When they appear, the cannons get iced out.
The ice tombs have a health bar.
Yeah, basically when the mage comes
down to free the player. Try not to kill
So we know.
all 4 explosions go off.
Hey, did someone just jump off the edge? Oh no,
fly up in the air. Players will now get a stacking debuff on them, which increases damage taken. Every now and then, a player will be frost
head
tuned.
our fishy
You
fish.
utilize this frost tune by line of sighting.
No, I'm not even there.
The stacking debuff. You probably
You're
want
not
to run
reading?
into melee like
I'm not even close. Like I'm close. I'm running back. I came through the instance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
That
realize.
was the last die.
Boss here, off tank pick up the shambling horrors and
There's
tank
fish
them away
over
from
here
the
as
group
well.
and facing
Oh,
away. They
yes.
periodically enrage, purge it. If you get narcotic plague, run to the shambling horror.
Yeah,
decode.
I think I like.
The closest target.
I couldn't put the backpack on because we were already in combat, so it didn't change my shirt. But that's what happened. So
sounds like some of yous don't have the Foji pack too. If you get that, it'll help his raid a lot.
Need to top everyone off.
The what, sorry?
There's this weak aura's Foji pack. It's so good. Yeah. Every boss just tells you where to like stand and stuff. It beeps at you. It comes up with all the warnings on your screen. It's so useful. And when you click this rocket pack, it automatically equips it for you.
So everyone get that add-on, especially for the raid.
The edge of the platform will be destroyed, so get back in the main circle. Phase 2 will still have the infest mechanic. Tank swap when they get hit by
it's a little bit like
every
Deadly Boss Mods. I've only started using weak auras sort of the past 14 months, and the packs that they put out for the raid are just so helpful. They make it so much easier.
30 seconds, this will mark a player and cause them to drop a black smoke on the ground very shortly after. This pool does damage.
It's more about icons and stuff. I'll put it up on your screen, like I'll have cooldowns for when ads coming next,
if you drop this in the
blah
raid,
blah
it'll
blah.
pretty much instantly fill the platform. There will be an overlap with Valkyr and Defile at some point. It is better to stay.
Alright, I'm ready now. Oh wait, is there food around?
You will get another
Our jumpers ready?
No, food's raided.
Is there food around? We did have some fish. It's fine.
Don't stress too much. This boss will put more down at Southwing. Oh no, you got it down so good.
Once they spawn, run to the opposite side of the platform. Ads will run towards players and explode on impact. When you're off tank to try and intercept them all, need all the
Not
explosions
huge
away from
for
you
me.
or anyone within a meter.
Oh, it does
For
give me
60
some
seconds,
spam.
The boss will cast Harvest Soul on a player. This will transport them to a room in which they'll help some dude kill something. If you're a healer, heal the friendly target. If you're a DPS and interrupt the unfriendly target. Once the boss reaches 10%
Alright,
health,
I'm ready.
I can take my.
we always wiped on this part and went again.
Why has it got cross on there when I've just pressed ready?
I heard you on Discord anyway. So
Patreon patrons and my channel members. I love you so much.
whoever's in that right cannon too, just spam #1 flat out. When I was watching you last go, you were shooting fairly slow. You can shoot a lot faster than that.
And the little mobs at the back of the boat, try and get them first. The little,
oh, you're talking about over the boat here.
Yeah, the little goblins right at the back. You'll shoot them with the cannons
Tank
first.
boss in the middle. Tank
Rapid fire little gnomes, poor buggers.
towards a faraway target. Maybe there is a dead zone in the melee where the fire will not hit. It's a good idea to have your healers stack in here. Have your rings
Wait
stand
for
out.
the tank to go over.
25 men, you need 8 people stood out.
Before you go jumping over.
Boss will impale random players or take ticking damage until the spike is killed. After
There you
45
go, that's
seconds, Moroga will begin spinning at a rate of 2 whirls per wind. Spread out around this room as he'll jump from faraway raid members. After this, it will go back to the first phase. Rinse and repeat.
Oh no, I've got X's thrown at me.
Lady Death. Healers in range spread out behind the boss. Boss has a mana shield that you'll need to DPS down before you need to worry about tanking. Watch out.
Coming.
Okay, on the ground. Boss also mind controls. You need to CC them.
I've got to watch this. I want to watch you jumping over. It's the first time for this. I want to see it.
Have tanks killed him Melee should try and both types of ad can rage. Purging.
Right, jump over.
Make sure you focus decursing the raid. Sometimes an ad will begin casting
Jumping.
Also self-destructing will
Oops.
Bouncy bounce.
also reanimate
Jumping, quick.
This causes
Did you
the
jump?
opponents to
Is
take
everyone
no
over?
damage.
I missed the bloody thing. Alright, it's alright, no
Reanimated
problem.
fanatics take no physical damage. They also lifesteal a lot, so don't bother having a tank pick them up.
So smile while I take the screen print. Good on
Once the
you.
mana shield of the boss is depleted, phase 2 will begin. Clear up any remaining ads and begin DPSing the boss. Move the boss out of death and decays. There'll be an AoE crossbow in 20 seconds. Little ghost will spawn around the room and fixate players.
I've got to put this into the guild thing.
Explode. Avoid that.
Memories.
Coming.
Gun shit. Torch the goblin and put your jump. Keybind it so you can use it easily. Have some people sit in the cannons and spam cannon blast until your energy is high and then unload with the second ability.
They're here.
Do not go over 100 energy or you will overheat and get locked out for 5 seconds. And I don't need to tell you that you need to shoot the other ship. Right? Watch out for rockets landing on the ground. Ads will
There's the battle mage coming out now.
DPS them down. Sergeants do a blade storm, so watch out now. Your cannons will get frozen. At this point, you'll have tanks and raiders and DPS to jump over to the other boat. Tank, pick up the commander. He does increased damage over time. Your DPS needs to kill the mage first. Once the mage is dead, you can jump back to your ship. However, you can also stay and kill any other ads on the ship. Stay as long as your tank can survive. Repeat this. Swordfang. This boss is a DPS race. Range spread out by at least 12 yards. Tank swap when he casts Rune of Blood. When the boss reaches 100 energy, he'll put a mark
New
on the
ads
player.
coming
The
up
player
soon.
will take massive damage for the rest of the fight. You want to keep them up. If they die, the boss will heal by 5% health. The mark persists even if you get battle rest. You need to kill the boss before
Yeah.
Yeah.
these marks go up. Blood Boil will be put on players. It is a dot that also gives the boss energy damage. So try to immunity.
The X.
Blood Nova will target a random player and do AoE damage. This is why you're spread. Ads will spawn periodically on the boss. They're pretty much immune to AoE damage. Range need to CC and move these down quick. Any damage they do will give the boss energy. So there's no point in tanks picking these up if ranged can kite. In range at 12%. Preston. This is a DPS race again. There is raid-wide ticking damage throughout the fight. Tank him in the middle. Tank swap at 9 stacks. Range spread out around the room. Vial gas will be put on a player that does AoE damage. 3 gas spores will go out on random players. You need to stack close in 3 separate groups for this. 2 in ranged and 1 in melee. Gas spores will explode after a short while and put a short dot on anyone affected. However, they'll also give you a buff that will help you survive a later mechanic. You need 3 stacks of this buff to survive the fight. Every 30 seconds, Vestigut will start huffing his farts. This reduces the raid-wide ticking damage, but now makes him
One of them
harmless.
cannons isn't.
Like a
Some are
machine.
here.
Once he has done this 3 times, he has reached a state of euphoria. His melee attacks rip through the fabric of time and space. You should use cooldowns on the tank to stay alive. Cockface. These will fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every 20 seconds. Spread out around the boss. Every now and then, the boss will cast a slime spray, or target a random raid member and do a counter. Just move out the way. The boss will cast mutated infection on players, and will run to the edge of the circle with this, dispel the debuff, and add will spawn from it, or fixate the player. You want to kite it around the room. When a second player gets the infection, you want to run in front of the ad already being kited, and get dispelled. The off tank should go with them. You want to collide the users. This will
these
cause
the
them to
battle
merge and
mage.
become a big ooze. It is now torn full, but it deals insane amounts of damage. So have your tank kite it around the room. Every time a new debuff goes out, simply dispel it in the path of the big ooze, so it merges. Once it is merged 5 times, it'll explode and will rain down on the ground. Avoid it. Professor Putricide. Phase
Anyway,
1.
it's coming
Have
up
your off
soon.
tank run up to the table and drink the potion. This will turn them into an abomination. They need to run over and suck up all the slime pools in the spawn. This will give them energy to use other spells. 2 types of ads will alternatingly spawn at either of the use tanks on the side of the room. Green will fixate the target and root them in place. If it reaches that target, it will explode. Split Orange will fixate the player, but they can still move. They'll take ticking damage whilst it's alive, and if it reaches the player, will explode with massive radioactive damage. Abomination tank should prioritize slowing slimes and sucking up puddles and then killing the boss. The best strategy is to just tank the boss next to the green slime spawn. Nuke the green ad when it spawns, but if it targets
Are you able to heal them from
Since everyone
there?
is stacked already,
Heal
the
that
AoE
tank?
damage won't be that bad. When the orange slime spawns, you will already be far away and range can nuke it down whilst it makes its way over. At 80%, the boss will enter phase 2. It is exactly the same as phase 1, but now the boss will drop 2 choking gases behind him every now and then. This will put a dot on you and make you miss for 15 seconds. So don't run into it. Try to position the boss so his back is facing the wall, wait for him to drop the gas, and then move back into position. It will also throw oozes towards players. It will bounce towards where a target was when he first threw it. 35%.
They're here.
This is a big DPS boost. Your off tank will be booted out with the abomination. Since you can no longer get rid of the slime, you need to start fighting the boss around the ring, away from the glowing slime balls. The boss will put a stacking debuff on the tank that will hit the entire range. It will persist for the rest of the fight. It'll probably become unbeatable at 5 stacks. You want to have your tanks taking 1 or 2 stacks each time, and until it is. If you find you can't beat this phase in time, try adding a third tank so you can split the stacks around it. Blood Prince Council. These bosses have shared health. Every 45 seconds, one of the bosses will become empowered. Only the empowered boss will take damage. There is no reason to AoE on this fight. Their abilities will also do some extra stuff. Spread out around the room, have a tank on each boss, and begin building threat. If you're doing 10 man, have a ranged DPS tank Keleseth. Keleseth deals shadow damage to their target. He will also spawn shadow orbs around him. Your Keleseth tank wants to gain threat on these, as they will channel shadow resistance on them, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered, Keleseth just deals greater shadow damage. Valinar spawns bombs around the room that will slowly fall to the ground and explode. You need to hit them with a few attacks to keep them floating. You cast Shock Vortex, this will knock back a player and leave the orb on the ground.
Get there that quickly.
When empowered, this ability will hit the entire raid.
Well done, nice.
Tal'Dorei will do a frontal ability on a player.
Oh good, I got some frosty
On
ones.
anyone
It's
in the
kind
raid.
of
Conjure Flame is a ball that will move towards and AoE explode on a player. It will do less damage the longer you kite it. When empowered, the damage is only reduced when it passes through a player. Melee should try run into it
Okay,
when
the
they see
next
it spawn.
fight. I did not really think we'd
Spread
get
out
this
around
far
the room,
this
tanks
fast.
stacked tightly on one another.
Okay.
Bosses link damage the person closest to the main
We're gonna,
tank.
if we
Your
get
tank
beyond
will
this
get
point,
bleed every
guys,
now and
we're
then.
just going to have to go
Pulse
by
AoE damage.
what we all
Swarming
know
shadows
together.
will be cast on a player. It will drop fire on the ground. Try drop it on the edges of the room. If you get beams
this
on
guy's
you,
name?
run to the other beamed players to get
Xiaofeng.
15 seconds
That's
into the
him,
fight, the
that's him.
highest threat DPS will get bitten. This increases their damage by 100%.
Please don't. Oh, we haven't got a
60 seconds, they will
DK
have
here, so
small
we don't have to
window
worry
in which
about
they must
that.
bite another
I was going to say,
player,
don't
otherwise
use
they'll
your
become mind-controlled.
your
Set up
army,
an order in which you want
because it
DPS
makes
to
the
be
boss
bitten.
aggro.
Every 2 minutes, the boss will run to the center.
You
and
don't
fire
need
up a
to
needle.
tank.
Clear,
Well, you know
drop
what
critical
not to
splash damage
tank.
on the raid, so spread out.
So that's
Drop
good.
tremors,
Range, we
master
spread
spell,
out,
field.
please.
Vilithria Dream.
This will be the last
main
one.
objective of this fight is
This
to
one
kill the
here.
boss to fall.
That's,
So if you
this
can
will be our
stop
last
field,
one for
do it. Portals will
today.
spawn throughout the
And we've done really well,
Portals
because
once
I've
you
only
get
sort of
15
gone as
seconds to
far
use
as
them.
this.
Inside, you'll be able to
Wondering
fly.
if we would
You have
even
20
get
seconds
this
to climb
far.
to as many red clouds as you can. This will
Range,
give you a
you need to
40-second debuff that
prioritise
deals
the
damage and gives you mana regen and
the
healing
blood
regen. Portals
beasts.
will appear every 20 seconds.
Heals.
Stack this buff
Oops,
as
it
much
doesn't
as
have a look.
Split the tanks and DPS and 2 healers into 2 groups.
Focus.
You will not
There's
be
something
taking
called
portals,
Mark of the
you will
Fallen
deal with DPS.
Champion.
Prio is as
Heals.
Skeletons.
Player
There's
dies,
AoE that hits
then the boss
too.
gets
Suppress
50
I guess we
or
already sort of
5%
did.
power. So
Archmages,
we need to make sure that we're all going to
I'll
stay
give it to
alive.
you.
Zombies. Put a stacking dot on the
Oh.
tank. Try to
Blood
kill them
power.
with range burst these down. Abomination.
What were you
Don't
saying?
really do too much.
Oh, sorry.
Syndra goes.
Go on, go on.
Tank lock here, watch out for cleave and the tail.
Go on.
There is a raid-wide ticking damage throughout this fight.
Would you
The
hurry
boss will
up so I don't have to
periodically pull the
worry
raid
about
into
this?
it and then do a big
No, we
Run
just
away
both
from
needed
this.
on
Melee will get stacks
the
of
tank
Oh,
ring.
okay.
as they attack. Stop
Alright,
attacking to
alright. So we've
reset.
got stuff
Range will
called
get
blood
stacks
power.
with Unchained Magic, which will deal damage
We
every
need
2
to.
seconds.
What we
depending
really
on
need
the
to
spell
do
type.
is focus on
Stop
these
casting
blood
to
beasts
reset
as they
this.
come
When the
out
boss flies
and
up
down
and
them
towards the
quickly.
stairs, a few people will be Marked people should
we need to spread out. I mean, there's a proper place for everyone to stand, but the melee go up there with the tank.
Similar to Saffron,
The range we spread out. And when these blood beast things come out, we need to nuke them down quickly. Because the longer they stay alive, the more dangerous they become.
It's up to you to DPS them down to free the player. Try not to kill them before all.
I haven't really got many notes for this guys, except to just
players will now get a stacking debuff on
bring
them,
them down fast.
Put the druid and the priest as priest over here.
Right,
They can handle the left ad. And then this,
yeah, there's need to be hunters there, but we don't know.
Just be careful.
This ad here, the melee are going to have to nuke, so the ret pallies are going to have to rotate their hodge, cycle them so it's always up. Once hodge is out, they're just going to have to destroy it.
If you get necrotic plague, run to the shambling horror and get decursed. You'll jump to the closest.
Have you done this boss before Tank and Jack?
I've literally never done ICC before.
Alright mate, so me and you have to taunt on a debuff that he gives, and the taunts have to be tight. I'll call them out if you want, because I got the Foji pack running. So just make sure you're ready on your taunt, have one of your good attacks, so you get a bit of threat. And then when the blood beasts come out, you can't have your concentrate down, okay?
Yeah.
If they turn on you and start belting you, they're going to feel blood power.
They do a frontal that silences, so face them away. Nuke them down. Ice balls will spawn in the middle of
DK can chain
after 60 seconds,
ice
the phase will
chain,
end,
the
edge of the
ad as well,
platform will be
slow it
destroyed,
down.
so get back in the main
Yeah.
circle. Phase 2 will still
So it's
The fish, any fish?
casters are just a little bit behind on killing one of the beasts. Melee just run over and help them finish it, and then just come back.
Guys, sorry, my keyboard's just run out of batteries. I can't type, so I have to tell you I need to be back in a minute to find batteries.
This will mark a
Oh,
player and
no.
cause them to drop a black
One
smoke
sec.
ball on the ground.
You're right.
Very
I'm
short
going to go to the
this pool does
toilet
damage,
quickly,
rapidly
put a
increases
3-minute
in
break
size
up or
if
something
the
there.
player is stood inside. You
Yeah.
need to
Sounds
run away
good.
as soon as you
Yep,
get
sounds
out,
good.
and your raid needs to run the opposite direction.
Alright,
If you drop
we just
into the
know
raid,
on a
it's pretty
3-minute
much
break. Oh,
instantly
thank
fill the
you.
platform.
Jesus, my
There will be an
sisters love
overlap
it.
with Valkyr and Defile at some point. It is better to stay spread for the Defile.
We're doing alright
than stack for
though.
the Valkyr.
I really am
45%
surprised that
will
we
get
got here
another
this
intermission.
quickly.
This is the same as before with
I'm
one
glad.
extra ad.
This
Once
is
the intermission
awesome.
is over, tank
Yeah,
the
I'm
boss on
just
the edge,
stoked
nuke
we
down
made
any
it
extra
here.
ants you have left.
I
No
am
longer
too,
costs
man.
Then it wasn't just
the
like
Valkyr.
die on the
Every
first
30
boss,
seconds,
die
you'll
on the
cast
first
fire
boss, die on the
spirits.
first
This will
boss, and
spawn
then
ants
Yeah, that's what I was
Everyone
thinking.
mad.
Really, that's what I was thinking too. But we got another good OT here, another good tank. Thank you
Yeah,
for coming,
yeah.
mate.
And eat all the explosions away
Yeah, he's
from
amazing.
or anyone
Yeah,
with an
this is
immunity.
true.
Every 60
This is true.
seconds, the boss will cast Harvest Soul on a player.
But we're
and
doing well.
transport them
We're
to a
doing
room
well.
That's good
which will
experience.
help some dude kill something. If you're a healer,
Oh, there's
heal
some
the
fish
friendly
back here
target. If
too,
you're a
if anyone needs it.
DPS and interrupt the unfriendly target. Once the boss reaches 10% health, I don't know what
Oh,
happens next.
believe
Maybe
me,
it works on
I've
this
seen
part.
worse. I remember when
Maybe you'll be more fortunate.
the girl
Good luck.
first
Well,
started.
I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.
We're all the same
Thank
when
you
we
to
first
my
start.
Patreon patrons. and
No
my
better,
channel.
no worse.
Yeah, I reckon once
love
you,
so much.
like you said, like experience trumps
I wish I could
gear
be there
for the
to
most
hold
part.
you whilst we
It's
watch
the
these
mechanics
videos
of the
together.
thing, you know.
So,
Yeah.
So remember everything you're learning here, guys, because I don't want to have to go through the whole damn thing every time we do this, but I will. Just a reminder. But I tell you, we'll just keep it on normal. Maybe the next one, and then we'll try heroic on the boat. Like everyone else tries heroic when they get to the boat.
Tank the
So
boss in the
we'll
middle,
see
tank
how we
the stack
go.
up,
We're doing
boss will
all right
shoot
though.
fire in a line
Bloody
towards
hell.
the
The boat
faraway
was sweet.
target. However, there is a dead
It
zone
was,
in the middle
very.
where the fire will not hit. It's a good idea to have your healers stack in
No
here. Have
complaints
your range
here.
stand out.
This
stay
one here,
fire from
though,
25 man, you
they
need
come
to
out on
keep
either
it out,
side,
break
these
the
blood
flames. The boss
beasts.
will impale
Just
random
nuke 'em
players.
down
They'll take
fast.
ticking damage until
The
the
longer
spike
they
is killed.
stay, the
After
stronger
45
they get.
seconds, Moroga will begin spinning at a rate of 2
So
walls
nuke
per
'em
wing.
down.
Spread out around this room as he'll jump from far away raid members. After this,
I don't
he'll go
even
back to the
understand what I
first
wrote
phase.
down here.
Rinse and
Sorry,
repeat.
heals, focus on the mark of the fallen
Lady
champion, because if
Death
the
Whisper.
player dies,
Healers and range
the
spread
boss
out
gets
behind the boss.
5%
Boss has a
health.
mana shield that you'll need to
There's something
DPS
called
down
blood
before you
power.
need to worry about tanking it.
He goes
Watch out
into
for
a
death and decay
frenzy.
on the ground. Boss also mind
The
controls.
boss,
You'll need to
I think
CC
he
them.
goes,
Be
he
careful
gets
not to kill them.
greater
This will be AoE rounds
haste
that
or
spawn.
something. He goes
Ads spawn
faster.
from both sides of the room. Have tanks pull them towards the boss so you can AoE them.
Yeah,
down.
that-
Melee, prio adherence.
I think the healers want to
Melee
stay
should
back
try
on
and
this one.
interrupt all casts of the adherence.
Yeah.
Fanatics
Oh,
will
okay.
both
We don't
tanks
melee.
can enrage, purge it. Make sure you focus
Well, because with
decursing the
Pellies,
raid.
I'm pretty sure we don't
Sometimes
melee.
an
I'm
ad
just
will begin
watching what's the
casting
guide.
Dead Martyrdom. This will
Oh, okay.
self-destruct
Blood
and cause
powers
big
1%
AoE damage.
increase. Mark
It
of
will also
fallen hero
reanimate
splashes
the
to
ad.
others,
This causes
so
the
spread
adherents
out.
to take no
We need to spread out down the bottom here on the range. Rune of Blood, it goes onto the tank and he needs to be healed well. He needs to get that thing off him. Boiling Blood creates more power for the boss. Gosh, Blood Nova, of course, we spread out. The Blood Beasts are called every 40 seconds.
Yeah, and there you can CC them. So everyone can CC the Blood Beast.
To the goblin and equip the jump. Keybind it.
But just nuke them down, bring them down. This is on normal. This is not like heroics. Because it's our first though, we think it's hard. It's not hard.
I feel like it is, as in because it's my first time, so I really want to.
You wait till you start doing the heroics. You'll be laughing.
Yeah.
It's a good memory though. You know, it's a good memory. It's because we're building ourselves as a team too.
Yeah, for sure.
Tanks and healers and DPS.
And it's just alright because we're a girl, so it's alright to be wiped, and then it's alright to come back, and it's okay, it's just not the end of the world. So let's just keep it up. We've just got this guy and that's us for the day. And thank you for coming. And thank you, Baldrick. I'm really looking forward to seeing this DK.
Tank swap when it costs Rune of Blood. When the boss reaches 100 energy to put a mark on a player, that player will take massive damage for the rest of the fight.
It's got red lolly. It's time for lollies, everyone.
By 5% health. Get battle res.
Licorice. In case you're wondering.
Blood Boil will be put on random players. It is a dot
that
also gives the boss damage each tick. So try to immunity it off. Blood Nova will target a random player and do AoE.
What did you say earlier, Bryson, about what can we do?
They're pretty much immune to AoE damage.
What can Shadow Priest? Oh, Mind Flame. Okay.
Any damage they do will give the boss energy. So there's no
point. I use it every time anyway.
Ranged can kite. Enrage at 30%. Festagut. This is a DPS race again. There is raid-wide ticking damage throughout the fight. Tank him in the middle. Tank swap at 9 stacks. Range spread out around the room. Vial gas will be put on a player that does AoE damage. 3 gas spores will go out on random players. You need
most of it's on our tanks,
3 separate groups for this. 2 in ranged and 1 in melee. Gas spores will explode after a short while and put a short dot on anyone affected. However, it will also give you a buff that will help you survive a later mechanic. You need 3 stacks of this buff to survive the fight. Every 30 seconds, Festagut will start
I'm going by memory.
The raid-wide ticking damage, but now makes him high as fuck and hit like a machine.
Yeah, once he is done different going by memory. To be in a raid leader, it's different. By memory, you get told what to do. And if we're all brand new,
fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every 20 seconds, spread out around the boss.
Yeah, Hammer, don't use your army, mate, because you aggro the boss.
And do a conal. Just move out the way.
What?
The boss will cast mutated infection on players. You want to run to the edge of the circle with this, dispel the debuff, and ad will spawn from it. It will fixate the player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room when the second player gets the infection.
How do we start
run in front of the ad already being kited and get dispelled. The off tank should go with them. You want to collide the users. This will cause them to merge and become a big ooze. It's now tauntable, but it gives insane amounts of damage. So have your tank kite it around the room. Every time the debuff goes out, simply dispel it in the path of the big ooze, so it merges. Once it is merged 5 times,
I couldn't imagine how hectic a 25-man would, to be honest.
I'd someone's at the front door, just gonna go talk to him, okay? I'll be back in
run up to the table and drink the potion. This will turn them into an abomination. You need to run over and suck up all the slime pools that spawn. This will give them.
I did have something for healed. Focus on that mark before in champion.
Spawn at either of the
yeah, I read about that.
Green will fixate a target and root them in place. If it reaches
it splashes onto others. That's why we need to spread out.
Yeah.
Orange will
and not die, because if we die, we make the boss strong.
Damage whilst it's alive.
Yeah.
If it reaches the player, will explode
and that rune of blood when it hits the tank, I'm not sure how to get that thing off other than for healers to heal him.
And then killing the boss. The best strategy is to just
blood power, right? Blood link.
Nuke the green ad when it's
I'm not sure.
Gains blood from damage to
since everyone is stacked already, the AoE damage won't be that
summoned
when the orange slime spawns, you
that's
will
right.
be far away and range can get down.
It's hard for the tanks, and we've got to heal them. That's so you wanted to know this.
Exactly the same
Healers and Khaled.
Choking gases behind him every now and then. This will put a dot on you and make you miss.
That's about it, really. Just keep healing. Heal.
The boss so his back is facing the wall. Wait for him to drop the gas and then move back.
Heal.
Which is why I don't want to be a healer.
Bounce towards where the target was when he first
move
out this.
No way.
At 35%, you'll enter phase 3. This is a big DPS.
Spam those
heals. Tanks will be booted out.
Yeah, I literally never stop. Fucking
you guys
heal
have done
and
brilliant job.
The boss will put a
You guys
second
are doing
debuff on the
it.
tank
Right,
that will
Flash,
Exit
holy,
point.
holy, flash,
It'll
flash,
persist for
holy,
the rest
holy,
of the
flash,
fight.
flash.
It'll
Oh,
probably
quick,
become
holy
Right,
shot,
right.
I need an insta.
You want
Yeah.
to
Flash, holy,
taking
flash,
one or
holy,
two
flash.
stacks each time. If you
Yep,
find you
yep,
can't beat
yep.
this phase in
That's
time,
the
try adding a
rotation.
third tank so you can split the stacks.
Really?
Blood prints
Oh,
are
It's
It's
random. It's
These
whatever's
bosses
needed.
have
Literally.
shared health every 45
coffee.
seconds. One of the bosses will become
Come on then, we gotta
Only
do
the
this so I
empowered
can
boss will
hurry up
take
and
damage. There is no reason
get
to
back
AoE
to
on
real
this fight.
life.
Their abilities will also do some extra stuff. Spread out around the room, have a tank on each boss, and begin building threat. If you do 10-man, have a ranged DPS tank Keleseth. Keleseth deals shadow damage to their target.
Is
He will
everyone
also
back?
spawn shadow orbs around him. Your Keleseth tank wants to gain threat
Oh,
on
really?
these, as they will channel shadow resistance onto them, making it easier to tank the boss. When empowered, Keleseth
Who's gonna
just deals
keep
greater
healing?
shadow damage.
Can
Valinar spawns
we-
bombs around the room
any
that will
D
slowly
spells
fall
I need
the
to worry
ground and
about? I'm trying to
explode.
look,
You need to
but-
hit them with a few attacks to keep them floating. Cast
Any
Shock
D
Vortex,
spells?
this will knock back
Mm.
a player and leave an orb on the ground. You must
Don't think
avoid
so.
this orb. When empowered,
I
this
think
will
it's just
hit
heal.
the entire raid but won't leave any orbs.
Yeah,
Talbrand
it's
will do a
it's
frontal
most,
ability on
mostly
the player.
on the dips out here, really,
Thunder Flame is a ball that will move towards
because we're the
and
ones
it will
dealing with
explode
the
on
blood
player.
beasts.
It will do less damage
Yeah.
the longer you
Yeah,
kite
we can
it.
stun
When
them too.
empowered, the damage is only reduced when it passes through a player. Melee should try running.
So it's really on
into
us to
the
get these
spawn.
things down.
Blood Queen. Spread out around the room.
So if I
tanks
run away
stack
and run onto
tightly
that
on
ship,
one
you know
end.
why.
The boss does link damage. The person closest to the
we're good,
Your
we're
tank
good.
will also get a bleed every
Is
now and
someone
then. The
missing?
boss
Are
will
we
post
waiting for
AoE
someone?
damage.
Oh,
Flaming
okay.
shadows
All
will
right,
cast
then.
on the
Entering the
player.
door.
You'll drop fire on the ground.
Oh, that's
Try drop
right.
it on the
Okay.
edges of the room. If you get beams on you, eat this. Sorfang.
The bosses beyond this, they're fun too.
There is
Yeah.
a way
Tank swap
for
costs
the Peli
blood.
power,
When the
we
boss
can-
reaches 100 energy,
we all
you'll
have
put a
it,
mark
we
on
can
a player.
actually,
That player will take massive damage for the rest
like,
of the fight. You want to
all
keep them up.
assign
If they
what
die,
each
the
one's
boss will
gonna
heal
do
by
somehow.
5% health. The mark persists even if you
Well,
get
aren't
back.
those things
You
hard
need
to
kill the
see
boss before
out?
too many of these marks go out. Blood boil will be put
I don't
on
know how to
players.
do it,
It is a
because I can
dot
see
that
who's
gives
got
boss
what,
energy
but I don't
each
know how to
tick.
make
So try
assign other
community it
people
off. Blood Nova will target a random player and
what
do
to do,
AoE
but I don't know.
damage. This is why you're spread. Ads will spawn periodically
Need
on
raid
the boss.
assist.
They're pretty much immune to AoE
Ah,
damage.
okay.
Range
That's
need
something to learn.
CC and nuke
Hmm,
can
I've
spawn
got
Yeah,
quickly.
raid
you can
Damage
all
they do
you can
will
all
give
work
the boss
together
energy.
and
So there's no
assign
point
what
the
each
tanks picking
Peli's
these up if
gonna
ranged can kite. Enrage at 30%. Festiger.
buff
This
for
is a DPS race again.
each person.
There is raid-wide
Okay,
ticking
well, you
damage
can be in
throughout the
So we don't-
tank
control of
in the
that.
middle. Tank swap
Yeah,
at
we
9
don't double
stacks.
buff.
Range spread out around
We'll
the
need
room
that.
via King Death.
I just don't know how to
Use them
set it up.
Spread
Oh,
out
is that what
daily,
Peli
so you
power
can
is all about?
Sorfang.
Yeah,
This is a DPS race.
Oh.
Yeah,
Range
pretty
spread
much.
out by
It's like
12
that's like
yards.
a big
Tank
bonus
swap
for it, I
when he
suppose.
casts Rune of Blood. When the boss reaches
Okay.
100
Peli
energy,
power's so good.
he'll put a mark on a player. That player will take massive damage
Right,
for the
well,
rest of the
Peli's
fight.
get
You want
Peli
to keep them
power.
up. With energy, he'll put a mark on a
Yeah,
player.
so I
That
can,
player
like,
will pop
assign
and cast
what
Rune of
each
Blood. When the boss
person-
reaches 100
I can
energy,
see what they're
he'll put a
assigning,
mark
and then
on
I
a
can
player.
change it
That
to
player
match
will
the
take
opposite
massive
of what they're
damage for
doing,
the
but I
rest
don't
of the
know how
fight.
to-
You want to keep them up. If they died,
Oh,
he'll put
please
a mark on
don't.
a player. That player will cast Rune of Blood.
Please
When the boss
don't.
reaches 100 energy, he'll put a mark on a player.
Well,
That
let us
player will take
finish this
massive
boss
damage for the rest of
first.
the fight. You want to keep them up. If they die, the boss will heal by 5%.
You're
Mark
doing a
persists
good job.
even if
I
you
can
get
see he's
back
changing
on
it now,
You need to kill the
actually,
boss
so
before
we can
too many of
all-
these marks go out. Blood boil will be put on random players. It is a dot
I'm
that
not
also
gonna touch
gives
it
the
for
boss
now.
energy.
Have you gone?
It's
Yeah.
to immunity it off. Blood
I
Nova
know,
will
I
target a
know.
random player and do AoE damage. This is why you're spread. Ads will spawn periodically on the boss. They're pretty much immune to AoE damage. Range need to CC and
We're
nuke
just
these
waiting
down
now
quick.
on-
Any damage they do.
How do
will
I
give the
say
boss
his
energy.
name?
So there's no point the tanks picking these up.
I was
if
calling him
range
Gabe.
is in range
That
at
can't be right.
30%.
Gabe is definitely not
Festiger.
sounding good.
This is a DPS race.
Yeah, I think that's
There
the
is
point.
raid-wide ticking
I think
damage
that's
throughout the fight.
The Gape.
Tank swap at
Gape.
nine
Oh,
stacks.
see,
Spread
now
out
that
around
sounds
the room.
good.
Biogas will be
Gape.
put on a
It's,
player.
it's French.
3 gas
I know.
random players. You need to stack
It's
close in
Gape.
3 separate groups for this. 2 in ranged and 1 in melee. Gas spores will
Alright.
explode after a short
Come on,
while and
pay
do
our
a short
tax
dot
on
on
speed,
anyone
please.
affected. However, they'll also give you a
He's
buff
doing a
that will
brilliant
plus
job.
later mechanic. You need
Yeah, he's
3
amazing.
stacks of this buff to survive.
Well, it's about
Yeah,
teaching
Second,
you.
Festiger
It's
will
Jax,
start
you've got to
huffing
pick
his
all
fast.
this up. I mean,
reduces the raid-wide ticking damage.
you know. Oh, mind you, we've
Players
got Baldric
hit like a
here.
machine.
He's
Once he
good.
has done this 3 times, he
He's
has
done-
reached a state
he's done
of
1,000 of
where
these.
melee attacks rip through the fabric of time and
we
space.
wiped a few times on this as well.
Stay alive.
Well, we're not going to... I know.
We'll fill a quarter of the side of the room, switching every 20 seconds.
Well, we're spread out. We're spread out. We'll just bring these guys down. We use our CC or whatever it is, that crowd control to get them under.
The boss will cast mutated infection on players. You want to run to the edge of the
slow them down.
Dispel the debuff.
Using my mind flay.
Fixate the player that had the debuff. You want to kite it around the room. When a second player gets infection, you want to run in front of the ad already been kited and get dispelled. The off tank should go with them. You want to collide the users. This will cause them to merge and become a big.
Well, that's
now to
I've only got about one attempt here, so
have your tank kite it around the room.
Okay.
Every time a new debuff goes
So make
out,
it count.
simply dispel it in the path of the big ooze.
I don't think it's tough considering it's the first time for a few of us. Well, not me, but for a few.
Avoid it. Professor Putrescence.
Yeah, I mean, you can, you know,
Have your
save
tank
it
run up
and
to the table and drink the
continue,
potion. This will turn them
do
into
another
an
run,
abomination. They need to run
starting
Oh,
from
yeah,
here.
yeah.
But
This will give
I
them
don't know
energy
whether
to
it's
use
worth
other
it or not,
spells. Two
because
types of ads
we
will
kind of need the
alternatingly
rep anyway,
spawn
so
at either of
we
these
might as well
tanks
do
at
a
the
fresh
third
one
of the
again.
room. Green will
I
fix
reckon
the
if we win
target
again,
and
we
leave
would
it in
blast
place.
through
If
the
it
first
reaches
two
that
bosses
target, it'll
on normal,
explode and deal
to be honest.
split AoE damage at the
Yeah.
knockback. Orange
Well,
will fix
yeah,
it
I'd have more
there.
confidence
Still
that we
move,
would
though.
just
They'll take ticking
do it.
damage whilst it's alive.
Well, now we do.
Yeah.
It will explode
Yeah.
with massive raid-wide damage. The
I was
ability
so
to
bloody
attack
terrified
with
of
slowing
first
slimes,
boss.
then sucking up puddles, and then
That wasn't
killing
too
One
bad.
before
Best
we
strategy is
said,
to just tank the boss next to the green
we have to
slime
make
spawn,
sure because
boot the
people are
green out when
working,
it
you know,
spawns, but
real
if the
life
target's
gets
a
in the
melee, you'll
road,
probably get
family,
hit. Since everyone is tanked already,
commitments,
the AoE
you know,
damage
we
won't
have
be
to
that
consider
bad. When the
all
orange
of
slime
that
spawns,
stuff
you will already
because
be
we're
far
social
away, and
casual,
range
we're
can nuke
not
it down
elite
whilst it makes its
hardcore.
way over. At 80%,
So
the
you
boss
have
will
to
enter
kind of
phase
consider
2.
work
It is exactly the same
hours,
as phase
different
1, but now the
different
boss will drop 2
states.
choking gases behind him every now and then.
I'd like
He'll
to
split
do
a
it
dot on you
Yeah,
and see how
well,
far we get.
the
If you don't run into
thing
him,
is we
try to
need
position the boss
an
so
off
it's
tank.
back
Like,
as
we
facing
need
the
another
road,
tank.
wait for him to
Like,
drop
so
and then move back into position.
if we can try and do it before another instance, but like it doesn't matter.
Can't hear you, right?
It's not calling you out, obviously. If you are gonna do it, like, cool.
I'm watching you. We are watching you. Then we don't have to worry about this. Mind you, I've appreciated Cafe and
if you find you can't beat this phase in
I know
time,
him.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's at the door, you know. So.
Blood Prince Council. These bosses have shared health. Every 45 seconds, one of the bosses will become empowered. Only the empowered boss will take damage. There is no
Hey, let me
reason
check
to
the
AoE on
drops
this fight.
for
Their abilities
these
will also do some
people.
extra
I haven't
stuff.
even checked
Spread out
what they
around
drop.
the room, have a tank on each
Well,
boss
that's
and be a building
right.
threat. If you
That's
intend
right.
to
Who are we
use
shilling?
DPS tank
Zarafan.
Killer Seth deals
Yeah.
No.
damage to their target.
Oh,
Yeah,
and will also
South
spawn
End.
Is it?
shadow
Yeah.
orbs around him. You'll
Oh,
constantly
Sarah,
heal
yeah,
once
yeah.
they gain
You said
threat
Dara.
awareness, as they will channel shadow
So what's he
resistance
drop?
on them,
Oh.
making it easier to tank the boss.
Late
When empowered,
school
Killer Seth
carrot.
just deals
Leg
greater
plates,
shadow.
okay.
Valinar spawns bombs around the room that will slowly fall to the ground and
No.
explode. You need to hit them with a few attacks to keep them floating. You cast
Really
Shock
decent,
Vortex,
really-
this will
really
knock
decent.
back a player and leave an orb on the
Alright,
ground.
I could take
Must
legs.
have
Okay,
this.
let's do
When
something
empowered,
in
this
the
ability will
I
hit
just
the
want
entire
this.
raid but won't leave any orbs. Tal'Daram will do a frontal ability on a player, leaving a dot on anyone in the way. Conjure Flame is a ball that will move
Jeez,
towards
it's
and
gonna be
AoE explode
too
on
strong
the player.
for this. We'll have to
Less
put you
damage
into
than when you
heroics.
kite it. When empowered, the damage is only reduced when it passes through a player. Melee should try run into it when they see it spawn.
Deathbringer, that's who we're on.
Spread out around the room, tanks
Deathbringer,
stacked
let's see what's
tightly on
got.
one another. The boss does link damage to the person closest to the main tank.
The
off
Ice
tank will
Crown
also get bleed every now
Fire
and then. The boss will
Sandals.
pulse AoE
Fire
damage. Swarming
Sandals.
shadows will be cast on the player. It will drop fire on the
Don't
ground. Try
tell
drop it on
Rice
the
that I
edges of
said
the
that.
room. If you get beams on you, run to the other beamed players to get rid of it. 15 seconds into the fight, the highest threat DPS will get bitten. This increases their damage by 100%. After 60 seconds, they will have a small
That's
window
about
in
it,
which they
really?
must
There's
bite
nothing
another
else in
player,
here.
otherwise
That's-
they'll become mind controlled.
Geez,
Set
all
up an
this for
order in
that.
which you want DPS to be bitten. Every 2 minutes,
Yeah,
the boss
this-
will run to the
yeah.
center and fly up in the air. It will fear and drop loads of splash damage on the raids, so
Oh,
spread
see
out.
how it
Drop
goes.
Tremors, Master Spell, Fear Ward. Vilithria Dream.
Oh, it's just a
The main
little bit
objective
higher
of
than
this
what
fight
she's
is to
got
heal
on
the boss to
really.
full, so if you can offset
And it's got
heal,
no
do
spirit
it. Portals will
attached to
spawn
it,
throughout the
so-
fight. Only the healers want to take. You have 15 seconds to run into them. Once inside, you will be able to fly. You have 20 seconds to fly
just
into as
gonna
many
roll.
red clouds as you can. This will give you a 40-second debuff that deals damage. It gives you mana regen and healing increase. Portals will appear every 20 seconds, and you want to stack this buff.
Oh, you've got the sandals down.
Split the
Oh,
tanks
gee,
and
Caleb,
DPS
we
and
go
two
for the
healers
same
into two groups.
things.
You will not be taking the portals.
Yeah.
I gave in to you because you're a healer, you know.
Suppressors, they channel a more
May the best need win.
Yeah.
And with that being said, I have never won.
Dot on the tank, try to kite them whilst range burst these down. Abominations. They don't really do too much. Sindra goes. Tank the boss here, watch out for cleave and the tail whip. There is raid-wide taking damage throughout this fight. The boss will periodically pull the raid into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from this. Melee will get stacks of a dot permeating
I'm
chills.
just going to I might go make
Stop
myself a
attacking
quick
to reset
drink.
this. Range
Gay,
will get
I
stacks of a
really
dot
thought it was
unchained magic,
gay.
which will deal damage every 5 seconds depending on
I swear
how many
that's
spells
it, though.
use. Stop casting to reset this. When the
Like-
boss flies up, run towards the stairs. A few
I don't
people
know,
will
maybe
be
not.
marked. Mark
It's
people
the,
with
it's
dash.
the, it's the G8.
It is, see?
He's the,
Mark
he,
Fashion,
Frozen,
what fashion?
you
like?
can't put
Similar
capitals.
to
It's
Saffron,
in the middle of the
hide behind
name.
these ice blocks to avoid the explosions. There are 4
Oh,
explosions
Like-
in
please tell me,
random
you know.
locations.
You
will
can only
need to
put
run
capitals
around
at the
ice
beginning,
blocks,
so-
position out of line of sight. The
Well,
ice
this is
tombs
what
have
you
a health
guys
bar,
see,
and it's up to you to
okay.
DPS them down to free the player. Try not to kill them before all
Yeah, exactly.
At 35%, the boss will no longer fly up in the air. Players will
Like-
now get a
like
stun
Babe.
on them, which increases damage taken. Every now and then, a player will be frost tombed. You will utilize this frost
Yes.
tomb by line of
You
sight
never
to the
get the
boss.
chance
This
to
will
get
drop
up
the
here.
stacking debuff.
It's like
If you
the
want to
bathing
run
ape
melee
and,
like so,
G
then
unit.
have the raid stack behind this and drop your stacks. Just be careful as the frost tomb does AoE damage when it's first.
How do we get those,
The Lich King.
I'm assuming it's from heroics to
Tank
buy
boss
shit
here,
from the
off-tank
store
pick
here.
up the shambling horrors and tank
Not
boss
frost
from
emblems,
group
but
and
the, like,
face
sort of
them
the other
they
ones.
periodically enraged.
Oh
If you
yeah,
get
look at that
the
armor. Did
run
you
to the
see it
shambling
all?
horror,
What you mean,
get details.
sanctified?
Jump to the
You mean the
closest target.
sanctified
This needs
ones,
to
you
be
mean?
the shambling horror. Repeat this.
Yeah,
for the rest of
maybe.
the phase. Once the phase is over, and
But
But
Yeah,
other
um,
tiers of shit that I can't get, like,
Yeah.
Dispel them away from
You
everyone
need
else.
You have to
Passively
get the
cleave
you
any
have to
other
get the
small
base
items on this
set,
phase. Infest is
like,
a raid
first,
wide AoE that does increase
and
damage
then
over
the
time.
tokens
You top
drop,
everyone off, got 90%
I
health
think
to get
it's
rid of it. Every time
heroic.
necrotic plague
Might be
jumps from the
25
target,
man
the
as
Lich
well.
King's damage will
Oh,
increase. So towards the end
what?
of
No
this
wonder they're
phase,
so
you'll need
good.
to cycle cooldowns on the main tank.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you, Anna.
The intermission phase
Well, we're not to
begins.
stay on
Quickly
normal
run to the
forever.
outside
Good grief, I'm
platform.
leaving
Tanks
to God if
pick
we
up
stay
the
on
raging
normal
spirits. They have a
forever.
frontal that silences, so
No,
face
no,
them all.
no, no.
I
No,
would-
you're not.
you-
Ice
You
balls
never
will
leave.
spawn in the middle
No,
of the
no,
field.
we're just
Travel
getting familiar
towards
with
the
it
raid,
now.
shoot them
Learning
down.
the
After 60
mechanics.
seconds, the phase will end.
You can
Oh,
buy
yeah.
the
another
base
couple of
Get
weeks,
back in the main
and we'd be
circle.
able
Phase
to
2
do
will
the
still have
heroic
the
gunship.
infest mechanic. Tank
That's
swap
right.
when they get
That's
hit.
right.
If we can progress
Every
through
45
normal,
seconds, Valkyrie will spawn and pick
It's
players
a few
up.
times.
They'll begin
Calm.
flying towards the edge of the platform,
Look at how
drop them to their
calm.
death. CC
But
and
a tank
down.
that's never
Want to try and
done this
stack up in
before?
melee when
I
it's
think
Valkyrie
you can
will
buy
Every 30
the
seconds, the boss will
base
cast
lights
fire. This will
one.
mark a player
You
in
buy a
position to
trophy of
fire smoke
strife
very
with
shortly after.
triumphs,
This pool does damage
and then you
rapidly
can
increases
emblem
in size
buy
if the
emblem
player is
across.
stood
But you have to go to
inside. You need
the
to run away as soon as
Ardent
you get this,
Crusade.
and your raid needs to run the
I think
opposite
that's for you.
direction. If
I
drop
think you
this in a
can.
raid,
I'm
pretty
not
much
sure.
destroy the full platform.
But it's like infinite emblems of frost. Like I can't. I'm not even gonna change my set until I drop a piece or two before I even start thinking about that.
Yeah, I think I can be well to go
nuke
for
down
that.
any extra adds you have left.
I'd rather buy the off pieces with my frosts.
Every 30
Don't hurry,
seconds,
we've got
the
3
boss
months of
fires
encounters
spirits.
here,
This
and
will
then we
spawn
have to
adds
be,
on your location.
you know, all
Once
of
they
that.
spawn, run to the opposite side of the
And
platform.
then there's
add
that
one
ruby,
towards players and
ruby
explode
something.
on
I've got a
impact.
quest
When
for
you're
it
off tank, try
already.
and set them all,
With a new
equal the
dungeon.
explosions away from the
Ruby
raid.
Center,
Don't let
Ruby
anyone
Center.
within
Ruby
you. Every
Center,
60
I've got
seconds,
the
the
quest
boss
for
will
that.
cast Harvest Soul on a player. This will
So,
transport
we've
them to
got
a
3
room in which they'll help some
months.
dude kill
That's
something.
tons
If
of
you're a healer,
time.
heal the friendly target. If you're a
Just
DPS,
be committed
DPS
to it,
interrupt the
okay? If we
unfriend.
can't make
Once
it,
the boss
you've
reaches
got to at
10%
least
health,
let us
and
know
then
the
what
day
happens
before.
next. We always wiped on
Right?
this part
Oh,
once
unless it
again.
happens on the day,
You'll be more
just
fortunate.
tell us as soon as you
luck.
can, so that I can run around,
That's
freak
it.
out, and find
Thanks
replacements.
for watching. Thank you to my Patreon.
Well, I'm just being
patrons
truthful.
and my
Far
channel.
out.
I
Bloody
love you
stress me
so
out looking for OT. Thank you, guys,
I
though.
wish I could be there
Wow.
to hold you whilst we
Yeah, I'm
watch
free all the
videos
time.
together.
I'm just
Sadly, I cannot.
anytime.
Good luck in ice
Is
cream.
this a good time, though, for everyone?
Any afternoons. I finish work. I start early and then finish quite early. So any
Okay.
afternoons apart from Sunday nights is like Sunday
Okay.
nights I can't, but any other I'm easy.
Lord
Just the
Moroga,
Agape
tank the boss
is
in the
is
middle,
missing,
tank
but
stack
you
up,
can do a
boss will
ready
shoot
check.
fire in a line
I
towards the
can't do a
faraway
ready
target.
check.
However, there is a dead zone in the melee where the fire will not hit. It's a good idea to have your healers stack
No.
in here. Have your range stand out to bait the fire.
Actually, yeah,
Fire
yeah.
line will sneak people stood out to bait the flames. The boss will impale random players. They'll take ticking damage until the spike is killed. After
Well,
45
we're all
seconds, the
here,
rifle
like,
will begin
so
spinning
it
at
seems like
3
Saturday
rolls per
afternoon.
win. Spread out
It's
around this
pretty
room as we
good.
jump from far away raid
Yeah,
members.
well, so we'll
After
keep
this,
it as Saturday afternoon. And POGC, I'd really like to keep doing that one so we can get into the harder stuff. Heroics is like really hard. POGC, I know. It's just to strengthen us and to give us more confidence and to get us used to running together as a team. That's all. Oh, Ryson, you're in New Zealand.
Have tanks pull them towards the boss so you can AoE them down. Melee, prio adherence, ranged prio fanatics. Melee should try and interrupt all casts of the
No way! Really?
Both types of outcome rage, purge it. Make
Jeez,
sure
I
you
missed the
focus on
ocean.
cursing
I
your
missed
raid.
the
Sometimes
film.
an ad will begin casting Dark Martyrdom.
Look at that, it's an
Disrupt them,
invasion,
cause
but
big
that's
AoE
cool.
damage.
That is
It'll
cool.
also reanimate that ad. This causes the adherents to take no spell damage, just tank them normal, and melee DPS
I
them
think
down.
that
Reanimated
the
fanatics
Kiwis
take
are
no
more
physical
laid
damage.
back,
They also
actually.
lifesteal a lot, so don't bother having a tank pick them up.
Honestly.
You range kite
Yeah.
and slow them as you
Shit,
do
yeah.
damage. Once the
Yeah,
mana
I
shield
really
of the
think
boss
so.
is depleted, phase 2 will begin. Clear up any
They're
remaining
laid
ads and begin DPSing the boss. Move the boss out of death and decays.
I think the
AoE
most
frostbite every 20
intense
seconds.
ones that we've
The
had
ghost will
so
spawn
far
around the
would
room
be
and
from
fixate players.
Indonesia.
If they reach you, they'll
You know,
explode.
because they're into
Avoid
the
that.
money and making and business, everything
Gun
is
shit.
business.
Talk to the goblin in a
And,
quick
you know,
little jump pack. Keybind it so you can
Intense.
use
I'm
it.
not saying that's
Have
bad,
some
that
people
might
sit
be a
in the
cultural
cannons.
thing,
You
I
want
don't know.
spam cannon blast until your energy is
I had
high.
one guy and he
Load
wanted
with
to
the
start
second
selling
ability,
gold in the
Incinerating
guild, and I
Blast.
said,
Do
well,
not
you
go
know,
over
really,
100 energy or you will
I
overheat
don't
and
think we
get
can
locked
do
out for
that.
5 seconds.
Like, I think it's against the
I don't
Blizzard
think
Selling
law.
you
go-
need to
selling
shoot
gold
your
in the
ship.
guild.
Watch out for
Yeah,
rockets landing on
I
the
said,
ground.
you know.
Ads will
The
spawn on
the
your ship, tank
gold
them,
dealer.
and DPS them down.
Yeah.
Blade storm, so watch out
And I
for
said,
it.
well,
These cannons will
yeah,
get
I
frozen.
That's
suppose we can
hilarious.
do
Tanks
that,
and healers
you
and
know, I
DPS
don't
can
think...
move to the other boat.
Maybe you
Pick
should
up the
consider,
commander. He
like,
does increase
leaving or
damage over time.
something.
Your DPS needs to kill the mage first.
Nice
Once the
guy,
mage is
though,
dead,
but
you
he
can
was
jump back
willing
to
At least
your
to...
ship.
did he
You can
ask for
also
something?
stay and
Did
kill
he
any
like
Yeah, he
ask?
told me.
as long
He
as your
told me.
tank can
He told me.
survive.
He told me
Okay.
how they do it. He told me what they do.
This boss is
And
a
I didn't know
DPS
what he
boss.
was
Range
talking
spread
about,
out
so I had a couple of
12
students
yards.
in,
Tank
and they
swap
were
when he
studying
gets free
law,
on
so I
blood. When the
called them
boss
into
reaches 100
chat.
energy, he'll
And I
be
told
marked
them,
by
and
a
they
player.
says,
That player will
no,
take
Minnie,
massive
because I'm
damage
not
for the
as
rest of
Minnie.
the fight.
Minnie,
You'll
you
keep
can't
them
do
up. If they
that.
die, the boss will
It's
heal
like
by
against the
5%
Blizzard
Mark
rules.
persists
You'll
even if
get
you get
the
battle
guild
pass. You need to kill
shut
the boss
down.
before
So I
too many of
said
these
to him,
marks
no,
go out.
mate,
Blood
I
boil
can't
will
do
be put
that.
on random players. It is a dot
You
that
can
also
stay,
gives
but
the
just
boss
don't
energy
do it.
each
But he
stage.
left.
So try to immunity it off. Blood Nova will target a random player and
He was
do
intense,
AoE
though.
damage.
Okay.
This is why you're spread. Ads will
Well,
spawn
I don't
periodically
think
on the boss.
Agape's
They're pretty
gonna
much
come.
immune to AoE damage. Range need to CC and
Yeah.
freeze down quick. Any
Oh,
damage they do
I
Adelaide's
mean, I've got
alright.
boss
I've got
energy.
time,
So
but
there's
like
no
if
point
everyone
tanks
is on a
picking these
time
up if ranged can
budget,
kite. Win
then
rage at
it is what
30%.
it is.
I'm just feeling
This is a
sorry for the
DPS
ones that
race
have to
again.
go,
Do
like
raid
Hammer
wide
has to
ticking
go.
damage throughout the fight.
You know.
Yeah, it's a
Tanks
shame we
swap at
couldn't.
9 stacks.
I mean, we got
Range
here.
spread out around the
Oh,
room.
yeah,
Yeah.
hello.
The player
Whoop,
does
whoop, whoop,
AoE
whoop, whoop.
damage. 3 gas spores
Easy.
will allow
Yeah,
random
sorry
players
about
to
that, lads.
stack
Had a,
close in
oh,
3
there's a lot of
separate
drama
groups.
went down between
2
one of
in
my mates
ranged
getting
and
in
1
a
in
punch up
melee.
Well,
last
tell
night.
us all about it. We're friends
With a
now.
short dot on anyone affected.
Oh, I had to walk 6Ks home, blind, drunk, with a splitting headache.
No. Well, you deserve it then.
Oh.
This reduces the
My other friend who's a Sheila, she's seen my other mate, and
Once he has done this 3 times,
You've been serious with us.
yeah, I'm dead set. And then she
Yeah,
needed to
bugger.
talk because her little cousin got punched in the mouth by my other mate. And
By the other mate, what are your enemies like then?
nah, he's got too drunk and some shit went down, you know. Anyway.
And then they woke up and said, what a good night we had.
Yep.
Yep.
Right, anyway, I'm ready.
Oh, sorry. Oh, me for me. Sorry. Why do I?
So this is the last boss we're gonna do today.
Yep. Yep.
Alright.
We're set. I mean, we're pumping it. Ugh, looking out.
The range know what they're doing. I already spoke to the druid.
We gotta get the
This one
beast
here has
down.
got to be hodged, rotate your hodges, and just nuke it. Make sure your big attacks right when it comes out.
You let me know when to swap.
You can start, mate, and I'll taunt when it's ready. And yeah.
Oh, do I have to talk to this person back here?
It's underway.
Oh, it's on the way. It's done.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Stand back a bit there, Ray. Oh, you're hugging that thing for. They're going to come out and they'll start chasing you down.
Is this the battle?
Man.
This is the battle stage. Oh fuck! I thought we walked inside.
They can still move them. They'll take ticking damage. Reaches the player will explode into a massive ring.
You go first, Jack.
Yeah,
Elimination tank should prioritize slowing slime and sucking up
You
puddles.
put your concentration down now.
Best strategy is to just tank the boss next to the green slime spawn. Nuke the green eye when it spawns, but if the target's in melee, you'll probably get hit. Since everyone is stacked with ready for AoE damage or cooldown.
Oh, I always had that. I've got to move it.
Fire rate, range communicate down boss rates,
Got over.
Oh shit, I taunted early. Taunt back, Jack.
Focus. Back with us now. Focus.
Blood beast coming soon. Get ready with that hodge. Right side of the melee.
Here it comes.
Drop tank with the boost up with the abomination. Because you can no longer get rid of the slime.
I've got it, Jack.
It'll probably become unbelievable at times. Stacks each time, and then if you find you can't beat this phase in time, try adding
yeah.
Remember everything you've been taught. Oh no, we got bolted to the top.
Whoever gets the first mark, Holy Pally's got to put a beacon on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that we've only got a certain time to get this boss down.
Do we?
Yeah. Otherwise he rages and we all go to him. So
I'm trying to look for...
Making it easier to tank boss. When empowered, Karaseth just deals breaker shot. Valinor spawns bombs around the room while slowly connect the ground to explode.
Right,
Attacks to keep him flat. Cast shock vortex.
Yeah. Oh no.
Must avoid this. When empowered, this ability will hit the entire range.
He put it on me.
Tal'Dorei, with your frontier ability on the player.
Because I taunted too early.
Conjure flames, a ball that rewards an AoE exploding power, less damage than one of you kite. When empowered, the damage is only reduced when it crosses through a player. Melee should try run into it when they see it.
Taunt, mate.
Bloodstream. Spread out around the room, tanks
that's
one. Bosses need damage, the person closest to the room does tank also get a lead every now and then. Boss pulse AoE damage, forming shadows when you pass the player. Fire on the ground, try drop it on the edges of the room. If you get beams on you, run to the other beamed players to get rid of it. 15 seconds into the fight, the highest threat DPS will get bitten. This increases their damage by 100%. After 60 seconds, they will have a small window in which they must hide from the player. So it become like set up an order in which you will be bitten. Every 2 minutes, the boss will run to the center and fly up in the air. Fear of splash damage on the raid, so spread out. Drop tremors, master spell, heal. The main objective of this fight is to kill the boss at play, so if you expect heal, portals will spawn for a fight, and the healers will take 15 seconds to run into them, inside and fly. You have 20 seconds to run into them, and great planet. Just give you a 40-second debuff that deals damage.
Taunt, mate.
Yeah.
Stack the stuff as much as possible. Split the tanks and DPS and 2 healers into 2 groups. Do not be taking the portals, but all the ends. Finally,
Taunt, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Suppressors, they channel a mortal strike on the boss. Archmages summon stuff on the ground that you can move out of. Zombies put stacking.
Alright, blow hero.
Try to kite them and first abomination.
Hero. Oh, got him.
Tank the boss here, watch out for Cleave and the tail. There is grade wide taking damage throughout this fight. The boss will periodically pull the raid into it and then do a big AoE. Run away from this. Melee will get stacked to the
Get him down, get him down. You don't want him to rage.
Taunt, mate.
That's on me.
Hang on, it's me.
Yeah.
Stop casting to reset. When the boss flies up, run towards the stairs. Few people will be marked. Marked people should step into take the stairs. Marked players will be frozen or splash AoE damage when first into
We get these guys are our priority.
Taunt.
Yeah.
Explosions and random locations, you need constant rally on those blocks, position up line of sight. The ice teams have health bar, so to each DPS them down to free to play. Try not to kill them before all four explosions. At 35%, the boss will no longer slide from the air. Players will now get a stacking debuff on them, which increases damage taken. Every now and then, a player will be frost teamed.
Don't let that mark die.
It's on me.
Yeah, I'm getting home.
Just be careful.
One of the rep pallies lay on hands if you have to, otherwise the boss will do it.
Got a bit more of me. Okay.
Oh, he's down!
Good job, guys. Good job.
No way! That was awesome!
I was so close to her. I mean, I went home like 2 times during that fight.
Man, I completely ran out of mana.
Now that's what Divine Plea is for, mate, and Mana Pots.
Oh, you
Yeah,
don't.
actually,
You
I
don't.
completely forgot about my Divine Plea. I did pop, but I just forgot about my plea.
Top everyone off, but to get rid of it.
You don't need these legs.
If he's going to run the heavy melee like this normally, you got to have your 2 casters over here, killing one. Having them split up like that makes it harder on their range.
They do a frontal that silences.
We'll remember that,
nuke them down.
guys.
Will spawn in the middle of the room.
The Reds have just got to focus on rotating their Hodges on the other one, and everyone's just got to nuke that one.
Get back in the main circle. Phase 2 will still have the infested.
Can you
tank swap when they get hit by
Andrew is a friend. Are you always on the Agape or what?
Oh, not really. I've half benched me Shaman and me Warrior. But like I might log on every now and then.
Alright, okay.
I just mainly run me Hunter in the Guild 25.
Thank you for helping us like that. I appreciate that. We've got Baldrick next week, so we're good.
Yeah, no, it's alright.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Frequently.
Oh, am I? I didn't realise. No, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going. Thank you, guys.
He's gonna run more of this before the reset, or
not before the reset. Oh.
you should. The 2 twins in the Plague Wing aren't too bad. I think he's capable of killing them.
If you want to, I can put something up.
Put something up and I'll see what I can do.
We need a day. We need a day. Is a Wednesday.
I can do any day but Thursday. And
any day.
Oh, the reset will be done by then.
Yeah.
So it have to be Monday, Tuesday.
Monday,
Tuesday.
Put a hard mode. Run with me Hunter and 10 men on Monday.
Monday.
Good luck.
You can do Sunday, Tuesday, right? Tuesday, we haven't so far, Tuesday. I mean, remember, we've all got real lives here. I'll put one up for Tuesday, and we'll see who can make it.
What does this go?
Alright, thank you, everyone. I'm going to get a couple now. Oh, how do I get out? How do I get out? Then we haven't got a mage, so no portal. Hearth.
Alright. GG's. Like, actually great job.
Thanks, guys.
At the very worst, we'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah, next Saturday, and of course we'll try Tuesday. I'll put something up for Tuesday.
Yeah, I reckon an optional midweek. Like,
yeah,
well, at least it's on
chuck
Wednesday,
something off.
so.
Yeah.
if you can make it, sure. If you can't, no worries.
Alright.
They'll take ticking damage
Okay.
until the spike is killed.
See
After
you
45
guys.
seconds,
Alright.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks for that.
Cheers. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going off, but you guys don't have
Thanks,
to.
everyone.
Rinse and repeat.
I'm just going off because I've got a
Lady
second
Death
supply.
Healers and range spread out behind the boss.
I don't know
Bosses
how
and
to
mana
do
shield that you'll need
it.
to DPS
Oh.
down before you need to worry about tanking it. Watch out for death and decay on the ground. Boss also mind controls. You'll need to CC them. Be careful not to kill them, as you'll be AoEing the adds that spawn. Adds spawn from both sides of the room. Have tanks pull them towards the boss so you can AoE them down. Melee, cryo adherence. Ranged cryo fanatics. Melee should try and interrupt all casts of the adherence. Fanatics will cleave. Both types of ad can enrage. Purge it. Make sure you focus decursing your raid. Sometimes an ad will begin casting Dark Martyrdom. This will self-destruct them and cause big AoE damage. It will also reanimate that ad. This causes the adherents to take no spell damage. Just tank them normally and melee DPS them down. Reanimated fanatics take no physical damage. They also lifesteal a lot, so don't bother having a tank pick them up. Simply range kite and slow them as you nuke them down. Once the mana shield of the boss is depleted, phase 2 will begin. Clear up any remaining ads and begin DPSing the boss. Move the boss out of death and decays. There'll be an AoE frostbolt every 20 seconds. Little ghosts will spawn around the room and fixate players. If they reach you, they will explode. Avoid that happening. Gun shit. Talk to the goblin and equip the jump pack. Keybind it so you can use it easily. Have some people sit in the cannons. You want to spam Cannon Blast until your energy is high, and then unload with the second ability, Incinerating Blast. Do not go over 100 energy, or you will overheat and get locked out for 5 seconds. I mean, I don't need to tell you that you need to shoot the other ship, right? Watch out for rockets landing on the ground. Ads will spawn on your ship, tank them, and DPS them down. The sergeants do a blade storm, so watch out melee. Your cannons will get frozen. At this point, you want to tank some healers and DPS to jump.
Alright,
Pick up the combo. He does increase damage over time. Your DPS needs to kill the mage first. Once the mage is dead, you can jump back to your ship. However, you can also stay and
that
kill any other ads on the
was
ship. Stay
our
as long
first
as
attempt at
your
ICC, which is the goal of this
Sword Hang.
channel and the
This
stream.
boss is a DPS race. Range spread out by at least 12 yards. Tank swap.
2 raids in a row, we got carried by some
reaches 100 energy,
random,
he'll
so
put a mark on a player. That player will take massive damage for the rest of the fight. You want to keep them up. If they
it's
die,
pretty
the boss will
pretty
hit
lucky,
5%
and
health. The mark persists even if you get battle res.
but
You need to kill the boss
I'm
before
learning,
2 more of
so
these marks go out. Blood boil will be put on
should
random
be able to
players.
maintain.
Dot that
I
also
don't
gives
think
the boss energy each tick. So try
well, we
clicking
only
here.
wiped
Blood
twice.
Nova will
And,
target a random player and do AoE damage. This is why you'll spread. Ads will spawn periodically.
one of them wasn't
so
my
they're pretty
fault.
much
Neither
immune
of
to
them were
AoE
my
damage.
fault.
Range need
So
to CC and nuke these down
that's
quick.
Death's
Any
progress
damage they do will give the
on
boss energy. So there's no point the tanks picking these up.
that
if
front.
ranged can kite. In
So,
range of 30%.
yeah.
This is a DPS race again.
Thanks for
Rate-wide
tuning
ticking
in
damage
for
throughout
my
the fight.
ICC
Tank
journey.
Tank swap at 9 stacks.
And,
Range spread out around the room. Vial gas will be put on a player that does AoE damage. 3 gas spores.
I guess we'll see you next
random
time.
Players. You need to stack close in 3 separate groups for this. 2 in ranged and 1 in melee.